Blah,
Hello.
blah, blah, blah.
Hello.
Hello, Daniel Ira.
What was that? Were you coughing?
I'm doing my voice exercises.
Oh, so you're gonna sing today
No,
again?
not at all. Not at all. No, 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 no. I think with yesterday's attempt at singing, it was enough.
Well, I think you were trying to exercise your voice as if you were gonna sing. So
Yeah, it's my dreamt second career.
really, no,
Never. No.
no.
No, never.
In your case, I don't think.
Okay. Again, crushing
No,
dreams. You know,
no, no,
you're
no.
very
I
quick at
mean,
that.
I don't think it's something you really like
Okay, thank you for
for
telling me
live.
what I like. But
Okay.
woof, started in the right foot today.
How are you?
Now a human being with lesser dreams, I feel, but
Well, now
uh,
a bit more dramatic. I see.
of course. No, we're doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm
Better?
good. Good. Yeah, I'm good.
Good, good.
I have my 2 liters of matcha.
Okay,
Because
that's
today I did,
gonna
no,
do
I mean,
something.
I am exaggerating, but today I did a big, big
Mess.
matcha.
Um, I hope that gives you the quiet energy. What is it called? What was it that
Calm alertness.
calm alertness? I hope it provides you with that.
Yes.
Um, let's see. Today we're going to um we haven't done a high chroma palette with the Umber underpainting. I don't think we've done that. I think we had
No.
talked about doing that, but we hadn't done that. So we're going to give that a shot today. And when we say high chroma palette, you guys are sadly not going to see it because this is a horizontal painting. So it's going to eat up most of the real estate in your screen,
All of it.
all of it. But it's going to be a familiar palette. We have used it before. I have spoken well about it after I, was able to digest it because initially for me it was a very hard pill to swallow. I would say, being somebody who is so content and feels so at home and content in the best of ways, not just lazily content, but content as in wholly satisfied with within with a very controlled palette, with a very kind of quiet. All the decisions that I can make are quiet. They feel analogous. They feel simple. Um, that's why I have tendencies to gravitate towards a painting like the one that we did yesterday. Those paintings, like the one of Fer yesterday, um, they are at my core. I feel everything else is just me trying to expand a little bit what I'm capable of doing, and me trying things out, which is super cool. And I think that's the way you learn how to be comfortable with painting, especially how to feel comfortable while being uncomfortable. So how to notice that that's a feeling that's going to prevail, and how to not let it kind of win and take control over you. I've always been okay with that. I think I've trained myself over the years to be mindful of that, to be aware of it, to expect it. So every time I do an exercise that veers off of this road that I have, identified as something that is just very close to my sensibility, as is kind of umbers and earths and very low chroma, and perhaps just a mid-tone heavy painting, and perhaps you know uh, making the value range, the value scale, a little more compressed. Every time I kind of stray away from that, that's me acknowledging that I have to try things out, that I have to push myself a little bit more. But the truth is, my core is that. My core is always grayness, midtones. That's why I'm always like pig and mud with a Zorn color palette. I will never stop thinking about that palette as like, the bedrock of like traditional, let's say, classical, the evolution, or the not the evolution, but the course of classical thought and classical painting that produced, Renaissance, and produced Baroque, and produced Romanticism and Neoclassicism. And even though a lot of those isms could, kind of bump heads and speak about differing philosophies, a lot of them come from the same DNA. I would say most of them come from the same DNA. And it's only up until like turn of the century, late 19th century or early 20th century, where things just start to break apart. And then latter half of the 20th century, then it's like everything goes, and it just reshuffles painting, which is amazing. And I think right now we're at a moment where we are within this kind of very loose tradition now of painting, where you can link everything in painting. We're able to look at the 20th century with enough distance and kind of learn a little bit from it. I think it'll take more years, and I think it'll take more generations to fully understand, you know, what has been happening with painting, during the latter half of the 20th century and the earlier half of the 21st century. But that's just how it works. It just takes time. So again, for me, I think I'm somebody who's like deeply enamored and anchored in those, foundations. I absolutely love them. And I've never felt that being in love with them means that I'm going to produce classical paintings, because I actually, there's a ton of things that I see in my painting that go like counter nature with classical thought. But nevertheless, I know that that is where we come from, and I absolutely love it. When I say we, it's probably like Western tradition, the Western tradition of like, figurative slash classical art, if we can try to speak of it very, very broadly. Um, so today, one of these palettes is a very simple palette that I have. I'm very scared to say landed on, because I'm always shifting, my decision making, and I'm always challenging my the things that I hold to be true. So let's say that for now this seems to be something that I'm quite comfortable with. But I don't feel I can totally fully understand it, which is what prompts me to do more and more paintings with these primary colors. But I recognize them now, and I know what I can do, and I know what I can't do with them. So that I guess fills me with the little bit of confidence that you need to get started in a painting. So we're gonna work today with titanium white, which I always refer to as a color. I know that a lot of people just don't like to, and when we start, like, even if I start a phrase just saying that, they would tune out, because they would say like, okay, this is pointless and ignorant, and of course it's not a color. But every time I hear people describe either white pigments or black pigments, and the difference between white pigments and black pigments, so the difference between, white pigments, if you're talking like zinc white, titanium white, lead white, or if you're talking about whites ground in like different oils, which will give them different properties for sure, but also they have a different kind of hue to them and color to them. They're always like, people always say warmer. In the cases of white, they'll say yellower, or they'll say cooler, they'll say bluer. Same thing with reds, they'll say warmer, they'll say redder or bluer, more earthier. Um, so whenever we use those words to describe what is going, like the difference between whites or the difference between blacks, that is enough for me to say that's a color. I know that in the properties of color, in the properties that we have understood as objective properties of color, temperature doesn't quite fit into that because it's very hard to judge a color's temperature. That's always going to be relative. That's why you never see charts of temperature, even though you could say cad red is warm and alizarin is cool. The proper thing to say is cad red is warmer than alizarin, which is cooler. So we use relative terms, we use comparative terms. But even though that category, temperature, is not one that we have accepted as sort of inherent to colors, the fact that we speak about yellower, this white is yellower than this one, or this black is bluer than this one, that immediately tells me, oh, it's a pigment, and it's a pigment that behaves like color. So I'm sorry, but my brain is going to treat it as color. I don't care what, kind of like, because I think science, like physics and the actual applied color theory, they clash. There's a moment where they clash. And I think science can educate a lot of color theory, but I think applied color theory is it's the sort of color theory that, let's say, Baroque painters understood when they knew nothing about physics. Absolutely nothing about physics. They just knew how to understand what colors were doing. In practical terms, they recognized what colors could do. And they were amazing at it. So they didn't have the words to express what colors could do. They didn't have the scientific understanding of what visible light was. And it didn't matter. It didn't matter. They were amazing colorists for, working with what they had. So I abide to that color, let's say, philosophy, where you just see a pigment and you see it for what it is when applied to painting, when, put together with a bunch of other colors, and when you try to configure a painting based on the qualities of those pigments. That to me is color. All of that to me is color theory. So for me to compartmentalize black and white and think of white as a non-color pigment, but the other ones are color pigments, I'm like, no, forget it. That's just dumb. That's just weird. My brain, which is a very primitive brain, is going to be, again, very primeval about this. It's like, I see pigments. I see one pigment that is very light and it's very opaque, which is white. And I see another pigment that is of the yellower hue and it's less opaque, and that's going to be my bismuth yellow for today. I see another pigment which is far darker. It's of the redder hue. It's a red violet, which is going to be quinacridone magenta, and that's going to be my red hue. And I see a brighter, I don't know if they're the same value. I'm guessing it's like a step lighter than quinacridone magenta, maybe? I have to check. Maybe they're the same value, maybe. No, maybe they're the same value, which is going to be my cobalt, which is a blue violet. That one's tough for me. I've seen it described as blue-red, which I have no idea what blue-red is. And there's something in my brain that says, I think that's a good description. Blue-red. So it's not quite blue-violet, because that's how I would describe ultramarine. But it's a brighter, lighter blue-red. That makes sense, but doesn't make sense in my head. Which is cobalt blue. So my palette for today is going to be titanium white, bismuth yellow, quinacridone magenta, and cobalt blue. And we'll see how those behave on top of this Umber underpainting. So that was the intro for today.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get started, and let me see if I could speak about what I want to do. Jesus Christ. Let's see. So I think I'm going to have like a very narrow band here, which is going to be a little more neutral. I think I'm going to have a very bright band over here, which is going to be the bit of like light, like a very bright light with a very high contrast, because it's meant to be sunlight. I don't know how well we're going to be able to describe sunlight, but let's just think of it as a bright light. and then there's going to be just a very abstract, wider band here. So let's think of our painting as 3 horizontal bands, a narrow one, then a medium-sized one, then a wider one, where we're going to go from kind of neutral, introduction of color down here, of like a little bit more saturation, brightness, then abstract color. I don't know how else to explain it, but I think in my brain it makes sense. That's going to be it. So we should get started, Danielira.
Yes. So,
So
we should say hi.
what you so?
Liat was saying hello.
Hey.
Hey, Liat. Liat was asking what colors are you using, but I think you just answered to that.
Yeah, I did a very complicated explanation of describing simply what my palette was.
Bruno V was saying good morning.
Mars.
Hey, Bruno. Edward Cepeda was saying good morning. So early.
So early.
So early. Sofía Centurión dice, hola chicos, ¿cómo están?
Sofía.
Una nueva pintura ya.
Vamos a ver.
¿Cómo estamos? Bien, Sofi. ¿Qué tal está Sofi? Ya menos bloqueada que ayer. Asif dice, buenos días. El proceso de este Umber Underpainting no lo habíamos visto, ¿cierto?
No, es un proceso que lo hice mientras Dani convalecía. Entonces, fue uno de esos días que obviamente nos dimos cuenta que
No podíamos.
que no era chévere poner a Dani a ayudarme a montar todo. Así yo quisiera hacer el stream solo, no, yo necesito a Dani 100%. O sea, bueno, la necesito todos los días para cualquier cosa, pero para efectos prácticos, Dani siempre es la que hace el setup de todo. Entonces, la verdad, no podríamos, no hay cómo poner la cámara, no hay cómo, no sé, o sea, tendría yo que ser un pulpo y tendría que tener una cintura que no tengo, como para poder embutirme después de poner la cámara y cuadrar todo. No, y además es imposible, porque yo podría poner la cámara y no tengo idea si mi cabeza va a estar en toda la toma, entonces, no. Dani es... O sea, una manera súper sencilla de decir que Dani es totalmente indispensable para todo lo que hacemos. Entonces, honestamente, cuando Dani no puede porque no se siente bien, porque pues es claro que estaba bastante enferma, no, o sea, nosotros hablábamos y yo le decía, no. O sea, yo me pongo a trabajar, no te preocupes, y tú solo trata de...
Sobrevivir.
Sí, trata de concentrarte en sentirte un poquito mejor y ya.
Roya was sending some heart emojis.
Roya!
And Roya was saying, yeah.
Love having Roya
It's first
live.
time I'm catching you guys live. Nicolas' birthday. I wish you a great year, Nicolas, and your existence is a delight, and I'm thankful for it.
Oh my God, that was a lot, but thank you.
And Roya was saying, and Danny, so happy to see you getting better. Thank you. Thank you, Roya.
That was very nice. Thank you, Roya. And we're very happy because we know that that you usually can't be here live, but when you are, it just makes us very happy.
And when you're not, you always leave the heart emoji.
Always. I mean, no pressure. It's okay if you don't.
No, there's pressure now.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Because it's in every single video we have.
Well, she tries.
Like,
she tries to make it to every video, but no pressure. Don't worry about it.
Or pressure?
No,
I'm joking.
No.
I'm joking.
No
of
pressure.
Course, I'm joking.
No pressure, please.
Lola Onigiri dice, hola, ¿cómo están? Espero estén muy bien. Dani, que ya estés un poco mejor. Sí, ya. Ya estoy durmiendo mejor. Entonces, eso es muy bueno para mí.
Muy bueno.
Sí. No, sí, porque de verdad, como que empiezo el día de ceros. Es que yo siento que estaba empezando el día como con un bulto ahí en la espalda.
No me digas así, mi amor.
¿Qué? ¿Qué?
Era un chiste.
No se entiende.
Empiezo el día con un bulto en la espalda y yo, no me digas así.
Ah, no me digas, es que te entendí, no digas así, yo, ¿qué?
La verdad estuvo re bueno, pero bueno.
Sí, pero no.
No, ya se murió el chiste,
ya
gracias.
Mejor, Lola, mucho mejor. Nicolas Mijarovich was saying, hello, Anton says. Hey, Nicola.
Very generous, Nicola. Thank you so much, by the way.
Carla Anglada was saying, hello, Danny, Nicolas in chat. Hey, Carla. How are you? Borg00. So Monique was saying, hi, Nicolas and Danny. Hey, Monique, how are you? Ibrahim Salah was saying, I have 3 questions.
Oh my God. Ibrahim with the rapid fire questions very early on. Let's see. Let's hear them. We'll make the best effort in trying to answer them.
What does it mean to have artist life? What to do with people who don't see value in art? They see you painting, they think that's just a hobby. It's not important. Becoming a painter takes a long time. What's the best mindset to have?
Okay, what was the first? I think I understood the latter
And Ibrahim
ones.
was saying it's okay if you don't answer all 3.
Oh, thank you. But we'll try. We can try.
What does it mean to have an artist life?
Oh, what does it mean to have an artist life? Is there such a thing, I feel?
I don't think there's like a definition of.
I don't think so. I mean, we are artists, but we live very differently from other friends of ours that are artists too.
Yeah,
I think they live differently from other artist friends that they have, and
yeah.
So I don't know. I think, I don't know. It's not a wild life. I feel that's not necessarily true.
Or it can be. I think it can be whatever life you live.
Yeah.
I mean, because yesterday we were giving the example of great artists that have different jobs or different artists that have different styles of life.
Yeah.
And I think that like the lifestyle you have does not define if you're an artist or you're not.
Not at all. Not at all. Totally agree with that. I always give this example of Bonnard, that he lived, I think it was the last 30 years of his life in his house with his wife and dog, like the little wiener dog. Maybe a cat, maybe also a cat, I think.
I think so, yeah.
And that was it. And he painted there. And he's one of the greatest painters of the 20th century. So I think sometimes we believe that, being an artist is just being like this free spirit, and you just have to go to the street and dress weird and go to openings and be drunk and happy and say what you have in your mind and break rules
be
and
irreverent.
Yeah, like fight the power. And I guess that's also it. But
if you want it to be.
Yeah, but that's not, I think that's like a super weird cliche of an artist. I've met artists that are like eerily responsible and serious and so adept at understanding what they do, that what they do is just like business, they're business oriented, and that just they treat it very, very seriously, and they're successful at it. And I've seen artists that could like sleep anywhere. If one night they have to sleep in a sidewalk, they're fine. In another night they crash, or for 2 weeks they'll crash with somebody else. And they have no money, and they think this is the perfect time to go on a trip, and just try to find maybe friends while I'm on a trip and stay with them. I mean, there's such a broad definition of art that I don't think there's anything that, I think the love for what we do is what binds us. For example, us painters, if we were in a room, we would see, if we wanted to see all the difference that there's between us, we can find differences immediately. I mean, starting from, where we are geographically and how we were brought up, and, if we have religious or spiritual beliefs, if we have political beliefs, trust me, it would take no time to find that we are vastly different. But I think the point in all of this is not to realize that we are different, because, like, who's going to be surprised by that? Nobody. I think the point in for example, having spaces like this is for us to say, hey, we can disagree in many things for sure. And if we start arguing, I'm sure we could very quickly disagree with just about anything. But we can also be happy that we have found a space that binds us. We found a channel, like, let's say this channel or any other channel, just so you don't think this is particular to us. We found a place where we can celebrate painting. And that is enough to, like, pull us together, and that's pretty cool. But our lives can be vastly different, can be about completely different things. Our um, priorities can be different, you know, what we work for, like what pushes us to work, can be very, very different also. So I don't know. I think you know what I think the cool thing about being an artist is, or one of the cool things, is that you very quickly recognize that those things can be true. So you're very open to other people just being different. It's just very quick. You very, very quickly recognize that this world is enormous, and people have different beliefs, and you're okay with it. I think you're more quickly okay with it than other people when you're in the arts. I'm not gonna say I'm trying not to generalize, but in my life I've noticed that people are, you know, in the broader, you know, kind of definition of an artist, we tend to be less judgmental. We tend to be more open, more understanding, which is great. Which I think it's fabulous. So if anything, if we're trying to like if we're hoping to find qualities to characterize artists, I would say the ones that are, you know, the ones that are about openness and an acceptance. Um, I think those would be like the better qualities that define us. Those would be like the nice kind of, you know, hopeful qualities that may bind us. But having said that, I've also met artists that are absolute idiots. So,
Yeah.
you know, being an artist, it doesn't mean that you're this beautiful soul all of a sudden. That's certainly not true. So, um, and and the other questions, can we go from that to the other
Yeah,
questions?
but just to finish that, yes,
Yes,
I think
please.
there's like as many artist lifestyles as there are artists in the
Yes.
world.
Oh, for
So
sure.
there's no
For
no
sure.
way to define an artist's life.
For sure.
Uh then the question said, what to do with people who don't see value in art? They see you
Um,
painting, they think that's just a hobby. It's not important.
what to do? Nothing.
No,
No. Why would you think it's our job to educate? Like,
like to change someone else's
yeah, it's not.
way of.
I've met wonderful people that would be bored out of their minds in a museum. And I think they're wonderful people. I don't see them as like I I guess deep down maybe sometimes you can be sad because they don't feel what you feel about a museum, but maybe they feel the same about something that they love, and perhaps it's something that doesn't excite us. I don't think art has to. Like, it has to excite and move people, and if you're not moved by it, then you're ignorant.
Hmm.
I don't think so. I think that would be just a very high place to judge other people
Yeah.
from. And again, if we're talking about art that teaches us openness and acceptance, um, I think that would be counter to that. I really don't feel that it is up to us to decide, what is high art, and that people should appreciate art constantly. If people don't appreciate it, then fine. That's, it's their life. They're gonna have different priorities. Um, I think there's a difference between not appreciating or not, or accepting that you're not moved by it, and then being disrespectful towards what you do.
Mm-hmm.
That's a totally different thing. If you meet people in life that just don't respect what you do, I think those are just idiots. Those are just people that are disrespectful. That is just the truth. But they're going to be disrespectful to you and towards anyone that they don't, you know, want to respect. So I just don't think those are cool people to hang around with. I certainly wouldn't be around somebody that dismisses like what I do. There can be people that say, "No, I'm not super interested in painting, but I am fascinated by what you guys do." Like, yeah, I think I've met people like that, which is really cool. They don't have to. You don't have to wow them with anything you do. You don't have to expect to be like constantly having like people's attention and praise. And for example, like someone Fer,
Mm-hmm.
they for them what we do is like the most like normal of things. Like,
Yeah.
it's so hard for them to like understand that there's anything special about what we do, because
Even
know?
like to think about it as a job, as
Yeah.
we were saying, because for them it's like, no, but Danny and their dad
Yeah, that would
are
be
just,
me.
yeah, working in the room,
Yeah.
and they're just talking,
Yeah, they're
and they're,
for them it's easier to say, "Oh, they're recording,"
yeah,
or "They're live."
editing, or yeah,
Yeah, or it's something like that. But not that, not that it's so weird for them to come in and be like, "Oh my god, that's the painting you guys did today. Wow."
yeah,
I don't think we've ever gotten that response, but I think it's amazing
yeah,
because
because
I
it's
much
part of
rather
their lives
yeah, I
too.
much
It's
rather
like,
think of that as like, they're just living with art and they
mhm,
understand it as just a part of life rather than thinking that art is like this weirdest thing
yeah,
ever and it's like, oh no.
yeah, that like this unreachable thing,
Yeah.
like superior thing. Yeah.
Fed is more concerned with understanding if we are famous or not.
Oh yeah, she
She's
told.
super like you can tell that she's debating with herself when she asks those
Yeah,
things, and we're always like, no, we're not famous, we have a, because she associates like a YouTube channel with fame, or only people that go live are people that have like an audience to
like a
talk to.
million, but for her, an audience is like, oh,
Oh,
you
she
have a
yeah,
million.
she thinks in millions.
Yeah,
There's no other number for her.
yeah. The last time I was in the like in my desk,
Yeah.
and she was sitting right there, and I started talking with her. She was in the living room,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, "So, are you two YouTubers or not?" And I was like, "Well, we have a YouTube channel, and we do the live streams, and your dad paints." She was like, "Yeah, yeah, but are you YouTubers or not?"
Yeah.
And I was like,
Help me figure this out.
I guess I would say first we are artists that share things in YouTube." And she was like, "So no YouTubers?" And I was like, "Yeah, but you could say we are YouTubers because we work in YouTube." So she was like,
Yeah.
"Okay, so you're YouTubers." And I was like,
I
like
always
I had no idea how to
yeah.
answer because I
I
was
always feel, don't you always feel that maybe she's having these conversations
with
at
her
school
friends. Yeah, she's like,
and they're like, "What does your dad do?" And she's like, "Well,
"He's an artist." Oh, is he working with, like, where is he working with?
yeah, what does he do?"
Well, he has YouTube. Oh, so he's a YouTuber? It's complicated.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she has no footing.
yeah.
So once again, help us get to the 100,000 so we can have a plaque
And
so
he
that
can say
Fed
he can
has a
she
sense
can
of self.
yeah, she can proudly say
I
my dad
understand my life.
and Danny are YouTubers. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah. Cuz also in that moment I remember I was thinking like, I don't know if I should say yes, we're YouTubers, cuz YouTube is not directly the income, like the source of income
Yeah.
for our work.
Yeah.
So that's why I was trying to explain to her that we sell what we do. So we
Yeah.
sell the paintings, but we also share it on YouTube. But YouTube does not give us a ton of money. Not
No.
like not at all. So I was like, maybe I should like explain to her in that sense, but then she just changed the topic. I think she was like, "No, I have no idea." Next topic.
Yeah, too complicated.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I don't know if we answered the second question. What was the second question?
It says what to do with people
Oh,
who
yeah.
don't see value in art. So
No,
yeah,
don't.
you were saying, and I think you're very right, that it's not our job, like anyone's job, to think that we have like a higher power of educating people in art, or thinking that that's something like that's like a step they should take to like a wiser step. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, like that idea of having art as something superior.
Yeah.
Uh, but I also think that as it's not our job, it would not be their job uh, telling us that it's lame or that it's not important. Or, I mean, I just think that it's okay if they don't care about art, but and we should respect that. But they should also respect that you are very into art.
Yeah. That to me, when somebody says like if they don't see value in that, that to me potentially would be a person that won't see value in a person that bags your groceries, or a
Mm.
person that makes bread, or a person that lays bricks, or a person that sweeps leaves in the street so that your city is clean. Like, I don't know, like, that to me would give me that misunderstanding of the value of what human beings do would prompt me to think that these are people that would never see value in other people's jobs, regardless of what they are. They would only choose to see value if it makes sense with the priorities that they have.
Yeah, or if it's a creative endeavor, I think that would be the people that think it's just something that makes sense and that it's worth it if you're very like famous or very successful with it. Because I think there's a lot of people that if you start I don't know, in the music world, they're like, well, but why are you doing that? That's lame. But maybe you can record an album. And then they're like, oh, yeah, it makes so much sense. I love it. And I think that's not okay. Because if they thought it was lame when no one was listening to it, why do they think now it's cool? Because everyone's listening to it, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that happens with painting too. That they can say, no, that's a hobby, that's not important, that's lame, don't waste your time. But then they start seeing that maybe people resonate with what you do. And then they start saying, oh no, like that person is cool, that person is an artist, that person, like they think now you deserve the quote unquote title of artist, which I think it's just not okay. Mm,
And the third one?
and the third one. So Meredith Boswell was saying true. And the last question,
Yes.
well, the third question,
Yes.
I don't know if Ibrahim has more questions. Ibrahim and everyone is very welcome to ask how many questions they want. We will be happy to answer them, to try to answer them. So the last question says, the third question, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Becoming a painter takes a long time.
Yes.
What is the best mindset to have?
Understanding that it's going to take a long time.
Yeah, and I would say, I think understanding it as part of your life,
Yeah.
not as something that's like your life is here and art is here, and you just like have to jump to one another, like to art and out of art to your life and then to art, but just understand it as part of your life, and then you would understand that it takes time, as everything in your life does.
Yes.
Mm,
Don't have anything else to add to that. I think that's you're totally right.
thank you, Michael Kiro. Um, Oscar C was saying, hello,
Mhm.
Danny, Nico, I'm back.
Hello,
Oscar C.
Oscar.
Oscar C.
Oscar.
Oscar, no.
Mhm.
Sofía Centurión dice, sí, ya me siento mejor. Sigo medio congestionada, pero hoy ya entrené y todo, jaja. Ahora en un ratico me voy al taller, pero por mientras dibujo algo. Al final ayer después de una siestita, hice otra pintura y salió mejor. Necesitaba una pausa nomás. ¿Y tú, Dani, cómo estás ya? Mejor. O sea,
Después de una siestita.
después de una siestita.
Siestita.
Mejor, Sofi. Pues no estoy al 100 porque tengo tos, pero la doctora, como me había dicho que la tos puede durar mucho tiempo, pues no me preocupo. Entonces, de resto, mucho mejor. Me siento mucho mejor. Y acá abrigada, Sofi. Toca que si Sofi sale, también se abrigue mucho.
Un saco, por favor.
Sí.
Saque un saco.
Saco y chaqueta. Bueno, no sé.
Que
Sí,
creo
¿dónde?
que ninguna de esas dos palabras las usa Sofi.
Así, va a ser que. Acá por lo menos hoy está haciendo un frío tenaz.
Sofi, gracias a usted, ayer
Sí.
nos pusimos a investigar sobre
El bebito
Bebito
Fiu
Fiu
Fiu.
Fiu. Sofi, es
El origen de eso
lo
es lo
máximo la historia.
O sea, yo pensé, al principio nosotros decíamos, no, debe ser alguien haciendo como una como una burla
Sí, como una parodia.
boba, sí, como un chistecito ahí de algo súper empalagoso. Pero después empezamos a leer que era sobre el escándalo del expresidente de Perú y dijimos como el caso de infidelidad y empezamos a leer y nos dimos cuenta que la letra viene de mensajes que sí se mandaban.
Sí,
O sea, ella le decía, ¿cómo era? Empápame en chocolate, bueno, cosas así, no sé. O sea, no
bueno,
podíamos de la
eso
risa.
te digo yo también, pero
No, mi amor,
todas esas
nunca.
cosas se
No, si
mantienen
tú
en
me dices
privado.
eso, no. Yo te diría como, o sea, te amo, pero
Báñese con agua
eso
fría.
sí, sí, hay
Váyase
que ir por
calma.
antibiótico.
Váyase
Sí,
calma.
sí. No, y está bien, o sea, hay gente que expresa su amor de maneras distintas. Lo que pasa es que a mí me parece muy curioso cuando es como hiper empalagoso. O sea, mira, dice acá. Por favor, besa mis labios, empápame como caramelo de chocolate y enróllame como azúcar en polvo en un pinono de vitrina. O sea,
Perfecto.
sí, sí, no.
Qué linda historia de amor.
Pues era una infidelidad.
Pero historia de amor.
Sí,
Nonetheless.
sí. Un escándalo de amor fue. Pero sí, Sofi, no teníamos ni idea.
Fer se la sabía. Obviamente Fer y Samu, mucho más enterados. Yo le dije a Dani, Dani, pues entre Dani y yo ya hay como un bache generacional. Dani se está dando cuenta que entre Dani y Sofi, por ejemplo, ya hay un bache generacional.
Pues yo dije eso ayer, yo como, oye, Sofi sabe cosas y Nicolás me dijo, no, un momento, mi amor, es que tú estás vieja,
Sí,
tú estás
acabada,
vieja. Y yo,
acabada.
pero sí,
Sí,
pero no,
una
pero
carcasa.
una carcasa. No, pero no, Sofi, no teníamos ni idea. Yo creo que si solo la hubiera escuchado, no, no le habría parado atención 2 veces, pero nosotros hicimos, bueno, mi amor, en eso
La
también,
tarea.
pero hicimos una, ay, espérate que me toca ir por el remedio. Hicimos tarea de gente mayor, porque en vez de oír la canción o buscar en TikTok,
Pero yo quería.
busqué yo un artículo en una noticia.
No, sí, no, tú estuviste pésimo ahí.
Y yo
Tú
leí un
empezaste
artículo
a
de una
leer un
noticia,
periódico como si fueras una abuela ahí en el domingo.
pero
Pero,
encontré el origen, que es muy chévere.
sí, sí, sí. Y solo para confirmar, Samu sabía de qué se trataba, obviamente, y Fer
La cantó.
la pudo cantar. O sea, le dije, Fer, cántamela. Que Fer también es como Dani, que tiene muy buena memoria para letras
Canciones.
de canciones.
Mm.
E inmediatamente Fer la cantó. O sea, impromptu la cantó.
Sofi dice, hay 21 grados hoy, chicos, jajaja. Un montón, jaja. No sabía todo eso, lo conocía por mis amigos. Sofi, o sea, ¿no sabías el origen? Ay, Sofi,
Sofía, si
déjame y
esté a
te
21
cuento.
grados, lleve un saco, eche un
Sí.
saco en la maleta.
Además, uno
Hágame el
no sabe si va
favor.
a
¿Qué
llover,
le
sí.
cuesta? ¿Qué le cuesta cargar el saco en la maleta?
Y Sofi dice, y qué bien, Dani, vas a poder ir al concierto. Sí, sí. Tengo nervios, pero sí.
Tengo nervios.
¿Nervios? Jody. We have
¡Oh!
Jody here. Jody send YouTube emoji. And Jody was saying, just stopping to say hi. Miss you guys. Miss
Oh,
you
we
too,
miss
Jody.
you.
How are you? How's everything?
Mrs. Morrison.
I thought you were going to say missing,
Yeah.
not Mrs., but yeah.
Well, it's my take on a song for Jody.
Sofía dice, no porque no tengo TikTok, jaja, pero en una juntada con mis amigos se pusieron a joder con eso. Y yo
Ujú.
tipo, what?
Y yo tipo,
Y yo tipo,
what?
¿qué?
Yo tipo,
¿Qué te
y tú
pasa?
tipo, cuando hablé con Sophie, me di cuenta
Que no tiene TikTok, boludo.
que usa tipo
Ah, no,
para...
boludo, es de
No,
Argentina.
no, de pronto,
¿Sí?
sí, de pronto.
Que no
Los
tiene
orientales.
TikTok.
No, pero te dice tipo cada 4 palabras.
Y yo era
Y
tipo,
yo era
¿what?
tipo, yo me puse a pintar,
En
hice
la
un retrato
juntada.
tipo, ¿qué te digo? Una señora tipo, no sé, de 40,
Pero mi
tipo
amor,
de
ya
las que
te fuiste muy lejos de
trabajan,
que...
tipo, y yo, bueno, Sofi. sí, estoy loco, tipo, yo qué sé, tipo,
Sophie dice, se usa boludo, pero no tenemos ese acento porteño, jajaja.
es el único.
Ese es
Nosotros pasamos de nuestro acento a porteño igual argentino.
es igual que
Entonces,
cuando la gente trata de hacer el acento de Colombia y hace
a
paisa,
ese paisa.
siempre.
Normalmente lo más fácil
Y
es
pues
cómo hacer
tú y
paisa.
yo, nuestro acento no tiene nada de paisa.
No, no, pero para la gente como que, para la gente que no, pues como que no entiende la minucia del acento colombiano, que
Ujú.
sería, obviamente, seríamos nosotros no entendiendo el acento así cono sur. Bueno, yo puedo diferenciar muchísimo un chileno a un argentino, facilísimo. Eh, uf, un uruguayo a un argentino, me atrevo a decir que es
Es más difícil.
muy complicado. Pero distintas regiones de Argentina, complejo, complejo.
Complejo.
No, esa G,
Es
eso no
de
es,
español,
sí.
de España.
Pero no, complejo, complejo, difícil.
Como, ¿cómo era? Hasta luego,
Hasta luego,
hasta luego.
hasta
En
luego.
Madrid, sí.
Pues
Hasta
ese es
luego,
de Madrid.
hasta luego.
Pues es hablado de Madrid.
Sí, sí, sí.
Hasta luego,
Hasta
luego.
luego.
Buah, buah.
Tú me dijiste que dijera hasta luego en el...
A los auxiliares, sí.
Sí, y yo dije,
Pues,
sí, yo dije hasta luego.
no,
Así.
no, no.
Lo
Así
hice
como un
súper,
moco en la
sí,
garganta,
lo
no
hice súper
dijiste.
forzado. Yo creo que fueron como, hasta luego. Somos de acá, de
Sí.
Colombia,
¿Necesita agua,
señora.
señora?
Sí. Em, Bruno dice que Uruguayan. My mom's side of family is Uruguayan. LMAO, this is so funny.
Well, there you go. You have Sophie to work on your Uruguayo.
Jody was saying, I'm so, so great. Very happy. Going back to basic with training.
Drawing, maybe?
Maybe.
Or maybe you're draining
Oh,
some
no,
of
no,
the...
no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Then they were saying going back to basic with drawing. Sorry about that. So going back to basic with drawing, still on Long Island. Back to the city and class with Garen in October.
Oh, very nice.
Oh,
Long Island. What are you doing, Long Island? That's a hard G. You got to go with a hard G on
Long
that.
Island?
Long Island.
Long Island.
Yeah. Long Island could be.
I thought you were
either-
going to say something. That's why I paused.
Oh,
So
thank
you were
you.
like, I thought you were
Yeah,
going to.
yeah, yeah. I was thinking about my memories in Long Island.
Mm-hmm.
But I only knew, to be fair, I only knew the Queenish part of Long Island. So very close. I would say, if you reach Queens and if you start heading towards Long Island, I would say maybe 45 minutes in. So not far, not too far from Queens. But I didn't venture into the suburbia of Long Island. But so I don't quite have like a more sophisticated idea of what that means. So it still very much felt like nicer. It was nicer. But yeah, but it still felt. I don't know. No. Actually, I don't even know how to characterize like what I knew about Long Island. Very insipid. Very suburb, and that was it.
Jody was saying playing lots of golf and Long Island
Long Island.
and drawing.
Nice.
That sounds like amazing days. I've never played golf, Nicolas.
No?
No, never. And I've never been to New York.
We have to. We have
yeah,
to.
I
We
have
to change
We
that.
have to.
I
would love
even if
to
it's
go
for like a
with
weekend.
you. Yeah.
I-
Well, for a weekend, that would be a little bit expensive.
No. I'm meaning like 2.5 days. I'm not meaning like, oh hey boys, do you want to eat pizza? Okay, we're gonna go to Ray's and get some slices. No,
Yeah,
Peter,
yeah, yeah.
no, we'll be back.
Yeah.
Call the private jet. Thank you.
Yeah. No, but we have to go. That's on
Um,
my bucket list.
Yes.
It's a place I know I have to visit.
I was very happy / weirded out when I went back for a little bit.
You were I think it was a weekend,
Yeah.
actually, but you were like having a long layover. and then you were traveling.
Obligatory. It was an obligatory stop. Let's call it that.
Yeah.
So that we don't complicate ourselves and we don't get into the
Details.
the details of me having to spend.
Don't say that. Yeah,
some
but
days there.
yeah.
But I was very grateful that I was there. I saw the Leonard Anderson show. Remember?
Yeah. You went to take the pictures.
Very
of
happy.
the Arconia.
I walked Upper West Side to the Upper West Side, just so that I could send
Only to
Danny
take a
some dumb
picture
pictures.
of the Arconia.
Yeah. But yeah, I still haven't figured out if the idea that I had of me wanting my future there holds true, remains true.
So, I think I'm gonna read something, and I'm gonna go for because I have to do the inhaler.
Okay, yeah.
So, let's see a question. So Bruno V.
Yeah.
was asking, Nicolas.
Yes.
Nicolás. Dice que Nicolás.
No, you can.
Nicolás. Have you ever destroyed a painting?
Yes.
I know some people burn their paintings, or like tear them up. Oh, and some just paint right over it. So
all of the above, I feel.
Yes.
I've done.
And Bruno, he burned a whole sketchbook that then resulted in the what?
A bunch of sketchbooks, actually.
Yeah. Well, sketchbooks,
Yeah.
in plural, that ended up resulting in the book Our Painted Lives.
Yeah, in the OPL sketchbook.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go do that, and I'll be back.
Yeah, that was a bit of a dramatic end to that that whole process. In terms of business, it was, people would have said that's the stupidest thing you could have done, because I had very generous offers of people that were interested in buying the whole sketchbooks, like all of the sketchbooks, which meant, dozens, if not hundreds of paintings inside those books. But you know what? In my brain, it was just like a little too complicated. And I think that the easiest way to close that chapter was not just to sell them or keep them like under lock and key and just look at them as if they were like this super important part of my life, but just to say goodbye to them, just to say, I think it was 3 years, like the amount of work that was there symbolized 3 years of work. So it was quite a bit. It was actually quite a bit of work. But I don't know. That whole process taught me that I think the conclusion of that kind of project, a very personal project, because it wasn't just about making nice paintings in a little book, but the conclusion of that project was about letting go of certain things, and it was important to do that. But that was willful. That was very nice, and it was a very cool experience letting things go. We joked that we had s'mores, like in my mother's house, in my old house. We turned on the chimney and had s'mores for someone fed.
Before.
Yeah, but yeah, some people were like very concerned.
Yeah,
it's like,
they were
oh
like,
my
"What are
God,
you doing? The
you're
fumes,
breathing
you're
in those fumes, and
Yeah.
while
like
you're burning the paintings, you're
S'mores
putting
with
in
cadmium, no.
yeah,
no.
cadmium s'mores, heavy metal s'mores. No, for anyone that's concerned, no, we weren't that dumb. We obviously had the s'mores first in the fire, and then when everyone was satiated, we proceeded to, Samuel Fer proceeded to tear all the paintings from from the sketchbooks without hesitation.
Yeah, without any hesitation.
Nothing. They
They were
felt,
so into
oh, they felt nothing.
breaking.
At some point, I was like, show some respect. Like, these damn children, what the hell? Uh, and they chose their paintings to tear off, and then they threw them in the fire, and it was nice. We recorded it because I think it was nice as a recording, not as a proof of like, look what I can do with these amazing paintings, and
No, but
you
as a
may see worth in
closing.
them. No, because I got so many weird comments from people that I'm okay. Like they weren't part of that process and they didn't understand that whole process. But yeah, it was for nobody else than for us. And if people missed the point, I wasn't trying to convince people of seeing what I saw or understanding what that process had meant for me. So I didn't expect people to understand. A lot of people were like, why share it? Like, that's such a drama thing to do, like unnecessary. Why share it? And as soon as you say why share it, it's like, why share anything then? Why
Hmm.
share this painting that I'm doing? Like, what's the point? I could sit down and do this far easier, if you ask
Yeah.
me, if I'm not talking to anyone and if I'm just concentrated on painting. That would be nice for me. That would
Yeah,
be
and
nice.
it's weird that they never questioned why sharing all the process of the paintings, like why sharing all the paintings,
Yeah.
but they did question why sharing the burning of the
Yeah,
paintings.
why share that moment? They
Like
they
we're
they think
sharing the
that's
same
like, oh,
like we're sharing the
that
same
is for the
process.
likes. And it's like, as opposed to
Yeah.
every time you've
And
pressed like on anything that you've liked on Instagram,
it
like,
was a live stream. Like an Instagram live.
no, we didn't do a live.
I think it was.
No, 100%.
Oh,
No, we just took photos.
photos. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
no,
yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I wouldn't care to do that live. Like, that wouldn't that like that would have been like an unnecessary thing to do. So it wasn't even like that. It was just private. It was
Yeah.
like a very nice kind of private moment. It was just the four of us.
Yeah.
It was fine. It was fun. It was very fun.
Jody
Um,
was saying the internet went crazy when you did that.
I receive a lot of like, you know, not um not appreciative comments. I'm trying to put it mildly. But those are the sort of things that make you realize, okay, the nature of social media is one, and it can be, I mean, many times it can be in tune with what you're doing, but it doesn't mean that every single time you have to either explain yourself or try to convince other people of what you're doing,
Hmm.
or think that there is a responsibility to be validated by other people.
Hmm.
Um, that they have earned an explanation and they deserve it. Sometimes things are personal, and I had made the decision way before I had done that, by the way. Like, I had spoken about that way before I had done it, because I realized, oh, there was a time, there was a moment that I was like, I need to say goodbye to this whole process, and uh, I just immediately noticed that that's what I had to do. But I thought it was cool because I did, like, wherever I would go, I would take the sketchbooks and I would paint on them. And if I was doing a workshop somewhere in the U.S., I don't know, I would bring them and I would pass them around. I remember in where was I? In Austin, I feel I was doing a workshop and I was doing a demo with like open questions at the end. And I took all my, well, some of the sketchbooks, and I passed them around. There were like 60, 80 people that night, and I just told them like, oh, pass them around. I remember I was a little concerned because I had also the rewards of the sketchbook, the
Hmm.
painted rewards, and I was like, if you're gonna steal something, steal the sketchbook. Don't steal these because I have to send these out to people.
Hmm.
But it was super cool. Like, people were passing it around, and it was like so normal to like feel that you could pass something like this around. A lot of people were like, "Are you sure we can just flip through them?" Somebody would say, "Hey, these pages are stuck," and I'm just like really concerned, and I would just be like, "Oh, pry them open. Just
Yeah.
come on, put some umph into it. Just tear them open. It's okay." It was very, very nice, but it was almost like this little touring of these books um, that proved to me that it was okay. It was nice to say goodbye to them. It was totally fine to say goodbye to them. I think as human beings, life many times doesn't prepare us to say goodbye to, you know, loved ones. For example, my aunt, my father. Um, but there are little things that you can do in life that can kind of make you at peace with moments where it was tough to say goodbye, where you just weren't ready, and where it just felt completely unfair. But when you can control how to say goodbye to something, when to say goodbye to it, and it's nice and it's kind of peaceful and it makes you smile, then you realize that it's not terrible. It's not a terrible thing to say goodbye to something. Not all things are meant to be there forever. So I don't know. It was nice. It was nice. But like I said, I never expected people to understand. Um, I was hoping people could respect it. Some people were very tough on me for doing that, but it's okay. It's okay. Like in the end, I felt that that was the best decision I could do. And now, hindsight, I know that it was amazing for me. I not as an act. Like, who cares about an act? People destroy paintings all the time. People throw away their work all the time or paint over it all the time. Like, you don't need to make a big deal out of it. But for me, that was nice. It was a way that made sense. And I can now say that, what I learned from those moments, not from just the saying goodbye to the work, but from everything, from when I started working like that, and when I understood that it was time to let go. I can't be happier with the decisions I made. I am super, super happy that that's the way it went.
Mm, Gil Robles was saying, great to catch another live session. Spending part of my vacation time watching and sketching. Oh, that's awesome.
That's very nice.
Where are you, Gil, if I can ask? If I
Drawing and
can't,
sketching.
just say,
Just be
don't.
vague. Drawing
Yeah.
and sketching. That's where
Yeah.
I'm at.
Have a good day.
Yeah.
Say that, and that's all. Um, Drawing things was saying, people I've come across has seen me as weak and a loser for doing art simply because I'm not making a living out of it. Would be a different story if I was successful. It's a lonely hobby for sure. Yeah, yeah. As I was saying, I think there's a lot of people that start um being cool with what you do with your art, or start supporting what you do and letting you know that they support it when they see that you're succeeding. But I think that's not only something that happens with art, but sadly it's something that happens with tons of
Everything.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we're very unjust with other people. It's crazy. I have no idea why we can't just hear somebody say, "This makes me so happy. I love doing this. Like, I feel like I was meant to do this. Like, the way I understand this world, the way I make sense of things is aided by this dumb, simple little act of painting." I cannot understand for the life of me how, if anyone hears that, it would make them feel like they have to be critical of
Hmm.
it. Like, is somebody telling you that they found something that is making life easier, or life more beautiful or more manageable, or it makes you in awe of nature. Um, like, everything that's good about what we do, we usually find in those moments where we are happy, and we make those decisions where we say, like, I'm gonna try to do this, as my life. I'm gonna try to make this the focus of my life, the axis of my life. I can't for the life of me understand that, because that to me could be a person saying, I'm gonna walk dogs for a living. I've noticed that I adore dogs, and there's nothing quite like just going on walks with dogs, and I find them fascinating every single day. And I'm blessed that people trust me to take care of their loved ones. I love every second about it. Why would I ever say to that person, like, are you serious? Like, you went to school to know that you're going to walk dogs? Like, that is so crazy. No, walk dog. Like, be happy. Go walk your dogs and be just the most fulfilled human being. That's beautiful. Like, go do your thing, especially things that where you're not harming anyone, you're not
Yeah.
harming yourself, you're not, where you're just happy. You just found something in life. How tough it is is it to find something that makes you happy in life?
Yeah.
Like, it always baffles me when people just can't be happy for you. They just can't.
Yeah, and also I think that you don't have to be like enamored with someone else's art to support them and root for them.
No, you just have to know that they're happy.
Exactly. And just know that that's something it's important for their life and support them.
Yeah.
So you don't have to fake saying, "Oh yeah, everything you do is beautiful. I love everything you do." No. But just know that it's important for them and respect them and root for them. Sneha Seema was saying, "So happy to catch you all before I go to bed. Lots of love from Bangalore."
Very nice.
What time is it?
Oh, I'm sure they're about 10 hours.
Let's see.
10 hours
It's
later than us.
9:54.
So was I right?
Yeah, I think I don't know what time is it.
I
Maybe
think I'm
11?
pretty close.
Maybe 11?
So yeah, 10 hours.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Spot on. Let's see. Meredith Boswell was saying hi from Australia.
Hey,
Hey
Meredith.
Meredith, how are you? Welcome to our channel, to our live streams.
Oh, very formal, Danny.
Cosette Pineda dice, qué belleza. Hola Cosette, ¿qué tal?
Muy amable.
Y Cosette dice, ese acento colombiano es de lo mejor. Es más, me veo las novelas por lo mismo. El acento, ¿cuál de todos? ¿Del paisa que estamos hablando? ¿O del acento rolo, como el de nosotros? ¿O costeño? ¿O pastuso?
O todos.
¿O todos?
El colombiano.
El colombiano, sí. Ibrahim Salah was saying, thank you both for answering. I have more questions, but like to give you breaks between questions. No, go ahead.
Oh, Ibrahim.
Shoot them.
Rapid
Ibrahim.
rapid fire.
Let's see. Sebastián Briseño was saying, I love you guys.
Oh, very
That's so
nice.
nice. Hi, Sebastián. How are you? I don't know if Sebastián has commented here before.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's see.
I went with a small brush very quickly. Not a bad thing, but it's just a tiny little head, so.
Sarah Cerulean
Oh,
was saying, this is phenomenal. So beautiful. Such subtlety.
thank you.
Marcelo Peralta was saying, hi, Danny and Nico. Hi, chat.
Hey, Marcelo.
Hey, Marcelo. And Marcelo was saying, I have to admit that I just follow you on Instagram along with the artist. But when I saw you burning those paintings, that sparked my curiosity, which led me to OPL and all. And all then came along the pandemic, and OPL videos became a daily ritual. Oh, that's awesome.
That was cool. That opened the door then to have a conversation, I guess. That's great. I'm happy that that's how we all met, Marcelo.
So Gil Robles was telling us about where they're in vacation.
Oh, yeah, please.
So could you guess?
I mean, I could guess any place on earth, so
Go
you
ahead.
know. If
If you have it right,
Oh, come on, Danny. This is like impossible.
I'm gonna give you
What?
a figure.
That's ridiculous.
So say it.
Gil Robles, Costa Rica. I don't know.
You're right.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
No, I'm joking.
Oh,
Bronx, New York.
there we go.
That's awesome, Hill. Yeah, I have to go to New York.
Don't play like that with me again, Danny.
I'm gonna give you figures too.
No. I don't want your figure. I don't want your pity figure.
I don't want your figure. I'm not giving you my figure.
I don't want a figure that comes from pity.
Aye.
No,
It was a good joke. I wanted to make
Oh,
you.
don't even play with me.
But
that.
but I'm gonna give you a figure.
No.
The hard thing with it is that they're always like pre-sale. So I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna get one for your birthday,
No.
and it's like receiving 2024. So
Yeah. The ones that there are things that there's even things that I canceled.
really,
Yeah.
why?
There was a couple of things that I canceled because I felt weird. I felt kind of dumb, like, putting this deposit down like for 2 years before something comes out. I'm like, you know what?
Oh, but I think they're worth waiting.
No. I mean, they're worth waiting, but I'll wait for them. Like, so I canceled. They weren't going to give me a one deposit back, so I made a scene and I had but eventually they did. So yeah, I think I've canceled 3 things.
Mm.
And they sent the deposit back. I think I'm being slightly more responsible, I'm going to say. Being a little more responsible with that.
No, but now I feel bad because of the joke I did.
Oh, it was a terrible joke.
No.
Yeah, don't ever play with the things that I love, please. Yeah, that was
I just gave you one for your birthday.
It doesn't matter, Danny.
Oh my God, Nicolas, you know it matters.
No, come on, I'm kidding.
No, but now I feel bad.
Oh, you should.
Sorry. Oh, Jesus. Paulo Vázquez was saying good day, everyone. Hey, Paulo. Sophie dice, adiós, chicos, cuando llegue a casa a ver el stream. Amo los colores desde ya. Buen fin de.
Hágale, Sofi, lo mismo.
NT Adrian was saying, hey, Danny and Nicolas. Any classes, lessons, or tips to improve on drawing? I really want to improve at live drawing, like you do, or Elisa, that you interviewed. I know how to draw a bit, but want to go further. Thanks for your time and those amazing paintings.
Oh, but Elisa is like 1,000 miles away from me in terms of drawing. Like, so, don't thank you for bunching me with her in there, but no. She has like a crazy, amazing ability. Sometimes I know that it's like the simplest answer, but drawing, you can only improve drawing by drawing. I think that is like, if you want to hear a short answer, that is the shortest, like most real answer I could give you. But if you want to be kind of effective about improving, if you're trying to find like the most effective way of doing it, maybe try to find a space that is kind of like directed by somebody. So you're going to have hopefully a person that you admire, hopefully a person that you respect. They're going to be in charge of giving you pointers and giving you different things that you should focus on while you're working. That is probably the easiest way to improve when you're working under somebody that you truly respect, that you admire, and that you're going to trust what they say. You're not going to offer like resistance, because sometimes we could be sometimes we can trust somebody, or we think we can trust somebody, or we admire them. But as soon as they give us like their opinion, we offer resistance. And that is kind of pointless. If we're going to be like that, then might as well just not listen to anyone. So whenever you work with someone, under someone, alongside someone that you respect, best thing to do is to just almost like blindly trust them. And eventually you're going to realize that you have learned like what you can from them. Like, for example, me, I'm a very finite source of information. So I'm going to be the first one that tells you, oh, if you enjoy what I do, that's awesome. Thank you. But you should also be looking at as many artists as you can, because all the gaps that I have that are just, it's just inevitable that you're always going to have shortcomings and gaps in your knowledge and in your experience and in what you're good at. Um, all those gaps are usually filled with other people's work. So what I don't know how to do, there's going to be an artist that's amazing that does that beautifully well. So in the same way that I'm going to look for them to understand how to try to better those shortcomings that I have, everyone should always be searching for those other places where you can get whatever it is that you're looking for, because we're all looking for different things. But whatever you understand that you're looking for, go search for it. Don't stop in one place. Like, go keep searching and searching and searching. Like, anyone that's a teacher will understand, or that understands the what it means to search and to try to find those things that are important for you, that are relevant for your sensibility as an artist, for your career, for what that are going to help you pave that very particular road that is going to signify who you are as an artist. We all understand that that doesn't come from one place. That comes from an infinite amount of like experiences and sources from artists. Like, I cannot think of a single artist that would encompass everything that I like about art. I have to think of tons of them, dozens of them at the same time. That's the beauty. That's a beautiful thing about art. So I would tell people, hey, I can do plein air. I've done plein air, but I'm never going to do it as beautifully as Jennifer McChristian or as James Gurney or as Pete the Street. I mean, there's going to be people there that are just tremendous at what they do. So go search for them. And, if you're always thinking, no, I like this, but I want this to be a little more abstract. I want it to be a little more expressive. Like, there's always going to be somebody out there that is going to fill that void. Now, are they going to fill that void, but also provide you with opportunities to learn from them? Maybe that's tough. Not every artist offers a workshop. Not every artist sees themselves as a source. Um, Not every artist wants to embark in that kind of very long journey of trying to see yourself um, as a some sort of teacher or like academic aid to somebody else. So, it's very, very tough to find all those variables and for them to align perfectly for you. I think that when they do, you have to be grateful and happy and say, I'm going to take full advantage of this. Not grateful and happy to those people, but grateful and happy for life, for life putting you in that spot where you're like, yes, like, I can't believe I found people I can connect with, and they're generous with their time and with their knowledge and experience. I'm going to make the best out of this. Like, that's what I mean when I say being grateful. It's not about showering people with praise. It's not about buying their courses or paintings or whatever they offer. Not really. It's about taking, like, seize the moment, then, like, take the opportunity. If you notice that is what you want, like, this person, like, suddenly she came along and you're like, oh my god, she's really what I need right now. Then go take a course with her and go, and if you can, buy something off of her and spend, as much as you can in a workshop talking to her. Like, get as much information as you can from the people that you respect and that you have had, that you now have the opportunity to work with or under or alongside. So yeah, I would say guided practice is probably the very best way, because, again, if you meet the right people, you're going to notice that very quickly they can share um, their experience with you, and they can, you know, things that have been difficult or are proving to be difficult for you, they have been through, and you're going to notice that when they speak, you're going to be like, yes, that's what I'm having trouble with, and they understand it. And what's coolest about the people that are willing to share their experience is that many times they'll have an answer that has worked for them or a solution that has worked for them that is going to prove to be helpful for you, that is also going to prove to be helpful for you. Now, does that mean that everything they're going to say is going to make sense to you? No, probably not. And that's fine. Don't ever feel guilty about that either. Like, I like when people disagree with me, or they see my paintings and in their mind they're like, I would have painted this differently. Like, I like his painting, but I would have done this differently. That's totally fine. Like, I went through the same things with my own teachers. I saw some of their work, and some of the work, oh my God, I could have died right next to some of their work. It was that good, and it spoke to me that much. But with some others, I was, you know, I was beginning to understand myself also as a critical human being, like an artist, a young artist that was capable of critical thought. And that's important. That's very, very important. So, um, hopefully, if all those things are there for you, or if, like I said, if those things align so that you can work, you know, in those conditions, oh, take advantage of that. That's like your whole body telling you that this is right, that this feels right, like this is a step in the right direction. So take advantage of that. Um, that would be the one thing that I would say. Nowadays, there's so many wonderful people offering, you know, different experiences. I can only speak about the people that I have, you know, worked alongside with. For example, I've seen Hollis teach and paint. I've seen Sean Cheatham teach and paint. And I have nothing but like the highest respect for them. You know, the highest respect for them. In the UK, I've seen Anastasia Pollard work and paint, and I know that she is now offering some courses. Oh my God, Anastasia is so damn good. It's like ridiculous how good and how like beautifully calm of a painter she is. Like it's amazing. So whenever I've been, again, lucky enough to share experiences with other painters that I then know are going to offer those to other people, open themselves up so that they can teach to other people. Um, Mia Bergeron, for example. Oh my God, Mia is just ridiculous. I mean, she is a hell of a painter and a hell of a teacher. So there are people out there that are that, where everything just makes sense. And again, if it makes sense for you, that's wonderful. We were talking with Jody right now, and I suggested somebody who was a teacher while I was studying at SVA, Garen Baker, and because Jody lives in New York or spends time in New York, I suggested that she would go to Garen's class, and a gorgeous friendship started between Jody and Garen, and that's amazing. You know, that's what you hope for. That sort of connection is what you truly hope for when you find somebody that feels important for you. So, yeah, that's what I would say. You know, as much as you can, take advantage of those moments. Like, we live in a world right now that is, I'm sure there's bad teachers out there. There's bad classes out there. I'm sure of it. I'm 100% sure of it. And it would be pointless for me to say, let's try to name all these people that are like taking advantage of other people, or that I deem to be not, you know, great teachers, or that I, you know, feel that they don't have the necessary experience to teach, or they don't have the personality to teach. Sometimes they're amazing. What they're saying is amazing, and they're idiots, you know, and everything feels like, oh, this is great, but the way they're, you know, sharing the information is just not, like, I am sorry, I just can't listen to you. But it's not my place to say those things. So I think we all have to make up our minds and trust other artists also. I think that's super important. Trust the experience that other artists can have. So maybe if you're in a group and maybe you could be in a Discord or you could be part of, whatever group you're part of. I would ask openly in that group. It's like, hey, have you guys ever had a workshop with blah? And maybe somebody says, yeah, 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 I took one with them, 3 years ago, and it was amazing. And I have friends that took it after me, and they all feel great. Like they all feel that it's an incredible experience. So, that can give you a sense of like, okay, this person that I'm understanding can be important for my own development. I have enough people telling me that it was the same for them and they were satisfied with that experience. And I would begin to trust that. So, yeah, there's many, many ways nowadays where we can, really take advantage of that. When I was younger, it was almost like this blind, bet, and you never knew how good a class was going to be. I've often shared my experience, and I can say this because it was my experience. So, not talking about the artist who I think is wonderful, but it was just my experience at that moment. But my experience with a workshop that Ronald Schur, who's a very accomplished portrait painter, was doing at the League. He was teaching at the League, um, and I thought it was terrible. I thought the whole experience was absolutely terrible. It just seemed like this cash grab. It was like 40 people in class. I mean, it was like an enormous class. He wasn't there. He would send his assistant to teach. And I was like, okay, this is at the time, I think it cost like $500. And I was like, okay, this is the worst $500 I've ever spent in my life. Like, this is crazy. It's crazy. So, yeah. So I honestly feel that was a terrible experience. Now, does that mean that he's a terrible teacher? I don't think so. But it kind of showed me that maybe, he wasn't dealing with that class properly. Like he wasn't acting professionally, or maybe something else was going on in his life. I don't know. But he was just wasn't there. It was very weird for me to take a class with somebody and for them not to be there more than half the time. I was like, what did I pay for? Like, how is this a class with this person when they're not showing up? Like, that's crazy. So, yeah, I mean, those sort of things, if you hear them from like, maybe that was my experience, but if you talk to 10 more people, they can tell you, like, what are you talking about? Like, he was amazing. Like, he changed my life. And if you hear that from enough people, then it's like, oh, maybe you just had like a bad moment. Like, your experience was just a bad moment in his life, which is totally understandable also. Um, but that's why I feel it's kind of important to search for other people's opinions. And that's it. So I don't even know what I was trying to answer with that question, Danny. I'm sorry. But at
That
some point, I kept going.
they were asking for classes, lessons, or tips for improving in drawing.
Yeah, but there we go.
So, no,
Yeah.
you did a
I mean, I
great
kept
answer.
going. At some point, I was like, I forgot, but the ship is sailed, like long sailed. So I'm just going to go with it.
Let's see. Ibrahim Salah was saying 2 more questions.
Oh, Ibrahim.
Have you been discouraged in painting?
All the time.
Sometimes I'm very encouraged and I paint. Other times I'm very discouraged.
Yeah, I don't think painting differs from life in that sense. Like, I'm sure there's days that you just say, I don't want to do anything today. Like, I don't feel like doing anything today. And that's totally fine. Like, you would never, I mean, I would never feel weird about waking up and feeling like that some days.
Hmm.
So it's the same with painting. Just because it's what you do, it doesn't mean that you have to be up for it at every single waking moment. No, there are days that are tough. Like, you can train yourself so that you can, kind of understand that it's a good thing. In the long run, it's a good thing that you're training yourself to always be ready to paint, even if the conditions to paint are not absolutely perfect. And I'm saying it's better because if not, it's always going to be easy to convince yourself that there's a reason for you not to work and not to wake up. So you could say, I haven't sold anything. Or, oh, things are getting way too expensive. I'm going to have to move out from this apartment because I'm not going to be able to afford rent. Or you could say, I'm not getting any better. I've been busting my ass trying to get better and I'm not seeing it. Like, I'm not seeing it. Or you'd had a show and you were hoping to receive like just praise and all you received was like, people like criticism, not even criticism, just people thinking that they don't care. They don't care much for what you did. So if it's about finding reasons to not wake up and not work, oh, there's going to be so many of them. Like in life, life is going to give you plenty of those. So I do think that at some point you have to train yourself to understand that it's important to say, despite of everything, or in spite. I wonder if despite or in spite are synonyms. I've never quite thought about that. Like if there's a proper use for in spite of, and despite of. I don't know. I digress. But regardless of what's happening in your life, you're going to be able to wake up, and if you have to work, you're going to work. If you really have to, and you have to perform, like you're going to push yourself to at least give yourself the best chance to do that. You can train yourself to be that person, and I think that that's important too. To realize maybe this is going to be a tough day. Maybe I don't want to do this, but I know I need to do this because in the grand scheme of things, it's more important for me to say yes to work right now than for me to say, I just don't feel like working. Because I don't feel like working. I think it's just, there's always going to be there's always going to be a reason. Always. Always. So, yeah. Don't feel bad about it, I would say, but also know that you're responsible for training yourself to at least give yourself the best chance to overcome those moments that are going to be tough. And that you have to work through them. You know it. Because, maybe in life there are times where you're surrounded by people that will tell you, oh, don't worry, you don't have to do anything today. Like, no, I know it's a bad day for you. Don't worry. Like, I'll pick up your load. Like, I'll look out for you. Don't you worry. Just go home and get better, and it's going to be fine. Those people sure are going to be part of your life, but not always. And they shouldn't be there all the time for you, like picking you up all the time. Like you have to train yourself how to pick yourself up at times. So, yeah.
And the second question was, what is chévere? I think it's
Chévere que
something
chévere.
Spanish you say a lot. Try to Google it. Did not find what it means.
Oh, probably
So,
spelled it wrong.
yeah, they always write chévere.
Yeah.
So, it's,
So we spoke about this yesterday, Danny. If you want,
yeah.
you can.
So, yeah. We were speaking about this yesterday. Chévere means cool.
Yeah, super simple.
Yeah.
There's nothing weird about its use. No, you can just use it perfect. You'll use it perfectly if you just say it every time you think something is cool.
Gil Robles was
Mhm.
saying, this painting's beautiful. Do you prepare the surface in any way?
Yeah. So yes. So these we have been. What did I grab? I forgot what I had in the brush. These we have been priming with 2 coats front, 2 coats back of transparent acrylic binder. So yes.
Snia Sima was saying, I'm attending GCA, Grand Central Atelier, in New
cool.
York next year. It's incredible to think that 5 years ago I was watching a live stream on Instagram and I'm finally gonna get to do what I've wanted to do.
No
That's
way. That's so
awesome.
cool. And you're going. I mean, Grand Central
Yeah.
has Colleen. So, dude, that's who what was the person?
Sneha? or Snia. I don't know how to.
Oh,
Maybe they
please
can
let us
let us
know.
know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because
Yeah.
I want to do
And by
the.
the way, I say dude genderless. Like for me, dude is like anyone. It's
Mm-hmm.
like mate. You know,
Like
it's
parce.
yeah. For me, dude is like super cool because it can be that flexible. I'm sorry if I don't want it to sound like oh, that's like a male thing. No, dude is a cool thing. So dude, yeah, that's awesome. I think you're gonna be surrounded by super cool artists and they're quite open also in that academy. I've noticed that I think Tim Wilson did also some things for Grand Central. Think I
Mm.
think I know he did for where Hollis teaches, but I don't know if he did for Grand Cent. No, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was for Hollis's school. But regardless, I mean Grand Central is really a great opportunity. Great opportunity. I've seen the people that you know draw there because I don't know why I make an emphasis in the drawing part of Grand Central, but it is amazing. It is ridiculous how well they come out drawing. So you're definitely going to have an awesome time there for sure, and you're going to have incredible teachers that you can look up to. So
Mm, Marcelo, when we were talking about chévere,
mm-hmm.
was saying, I always thought you were saying cherry.
Oh, that's so cool.
Super cherry.
That's kind of nice.
Sí.
That could work.
Let's see. Marcelo was also saying, Nico, would you say you guys in a genderless manner, just like dude? I'm always on the fence on that
I
one.
say guy. Yeah, I've said guys. I know that we are. Language is tough. Language is super tough.
And but wait, Marcelo was saying, I caught myself typing and deleting it a few times when
I've done the
talking with
same.
you and Danny.
I've done the same. Um, so I wouldn't be obviously offended. I don't know if Danny would
No.
like. I think Danny. Yeah,
No.
I didn't want to speak for you, Danny, but
No, not
knowing
at
you,
all.
no, you guys would be totally fine. We like. I'll give you an example with for example, Danny and me. Um, there are moments when we're speaking. There is a way to speak genderless in Spanish that a lot of people are critical of. Like, a lot of people are highly critical of language trying to bend itself. Um, but I see it the way I see it, and even though it's difficult for me because I have years of just language stuck in your brain, and there's just like very um, there's like shortcuts that you take whenever you're speaking that you don't even think about them that much uh, that I probably have had to like think about them a little bit more when I'm speaking, and that maybe means that I have to speak slower and just think about things twice before I open my mouth. A lot of people don't like that kind of self-editing. They just don't want to go through that. I think what language is going through right now is just a way of people acknowledging certain things. That's all it is. I mean, when people try to speak like that and try to speak in like these genderless pronouns, um, we nobody knows if those decisions are going to stick or not, or if they're going to remain part of different cultures. They don't have to be part of like that's not a universal truth. Language is very different in this world, and for us to think that this is happening all over the world is very ignorant, because there are communities in the world that already have like a super vague way of understanding gender. So um uh but I do think it's an effort, and I do think it's okay to make an effort. I think mistakes are obviously made when you're trying to make that effort. And those are the mistakes usually people just pounce on and make fun of and think that it's ridiculous. Um, but I actually don't know where this is all going to end up. But it's okay to make an effort. It's okay to for people, and if you're thinking about your audience, for the people to understand that you are making an effort. So it
Mm-hmm.
takes, for example, it takes no effort in me to speak about them if I'm speaking of artists, to say them. or to favor she if I'm speaking of an artist that I don't, if I'm speaking of the idea of an artist, to say, well, I mean, all my life I've said him. Like, why don't I say she now? Why don't I favor she and her now if I'm speaking of an artist? So it takes no effort. Not at all. Not at all. Am I going to say him sometimes? Sure, because it's already like so ingrained in my brain that it's going to come out for sure. But if in doubt, should I say them? Yeah, that's fine. I think that those sort of things are the easiest things that you can do, that you don't even have to make up words or you don't even have to bend language, which that's the thing that people have like super weird feelings towards. Like, if I don't know a person, if I don't know how a person feels about, their identity, their gender identity, if I speak about them, like if somebody referred to me as them, I would feel nothing. Like, it doesn't offend me in the least. Like, I would never in a million years find that offensive. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy if I did. Um, so I do think it's something that you can make an effort. I think that if you make an effort, I think people are appreciative of that, especially people that are hoping that, people will refer to them in specific ways. Um, but I also think that at the other side, people have to be okay with other people saying, "Oh, dude, you're so weird." If I say "dude" to a girl that understands herself as a she, her, if I say "dude," there's nothing terribly weird about that. There's nothing, I'm not just, you know, it's like, oh, that's male hierarchy and that's a term that should disappear. It's like, no, I don't think there's anything terribly wrong with that. If I say guys, hey guys, I'll see you later, it's like, we're not guys here. Oh, yeah, I know we're not guys. But then it's like you're kind of fishing for things that, for like pebbles that don't have any jagged like little bits and pieces coming out, and where it just becomes super. At some point, you have to express yourself, and you have to express yourself and know that, oh, maybe I said this wrong, and I can apologize for it, even though I wasn't trying to offend anyone. I think that the best thing that people can have is patience when they are listening to someone, and say very quickly, I think very quickly you can understand if somebody's being offensive or not. And I think very quickly you can understand if somebody's making an effort or not. And if very quickly you understand that somebody's making an effort, and if they mess up, you can be like, oh, that's okay. Like, I totally understand that they messed up on this, or they could have expressed this better. So I think people can be a little bit more lenient, and people can also be a little less judgmental. I think we're reaching a point where, we're very angry because we're amazing at being angry and judgmental. I think with the passing of time, we'll realize that we don't have to be this angry, and that everyone is trying to do their best, and that if you understand that people are just, they really come from the heart and they're not trying to be judgmental, then it's good. Then it's okay. Then we can all kind of learn at the same pace at the same time. But I think that's the best scenario for that. So, yes, I've caught myself, like you, writing, or saying it to like during a workshop, and them kind of feeling, oh, maybe that wasn't inclusive. But then I realize, yeah, but that one term, I mean, it would be weird for people if they have listened to me for 4 hours making an effort, if that one little kind of really pointless term suddenly made them change their mind about everything that I said. So I think, again, I think we can all be just a little more flexible, all of us. Flexible in understanding that we can, use more inclusive terms, and flexible in understanding that we don't have to be judgmental about people that are just making an effort. We really don't. We don't have to be that harsh, because I think we're very harsh at times too. So that would be my long answer in a very complicated conversation. Conversation that many people don't want to touch with a like 10-foot pole. So, yeah.
Yeah, but I was going to say that it's important what you were saying about it coming from respect
Yes.
and from trying. Because I think that when people don't try because they think it's dumb,
Yeah.
I don't think that's okay. Because you, even if you feel you're saying just a word, or you're just using one letter in a word, someone's feeling hurt because of that. So it takes nothing to try and like bend your language so that everyone can feel welcome in it.
And bend it in a way where you can still communicate. Like you can still really easily communicate with the exact tools that you already
Mhm.
have. And so there are things that you can adjust, not even change, just adjust, that are super, super easy, that they don't have to put your beliefs to test. They don't have to like change your world. Like they don't have to turn everything upside down for you. And you don't have to go to bed like thinking, what am I like, how am I expressing myself? Like I've lost the ability to say the things that I usually said, and do the jokes that I usually would do. And now I have to think that with everything that I say, I'm going to be pissing off anyone. Um, I think there's a I think we're going to reach a point where like we can be far more understanding with our effort. I think if there's an effort, then we can start to learn how to be far more understanding.
Yeah. Yeah, but if someone's telling you, hey, I'm not a him, and if you say, no, it doesn't matter, I'm just still gonna call you him, that's not okay.
Yeah,
Because what
that's
you're doing is an aggression to the other person. Because they're
yeah.
telling you, hey, I'm not this. So I think that's why it's very important to be flexible and also learn to listen to people before you assume something about them. Uh,
And honestly, it's in the same way that if you were in a relationship and you know that you have to talk, that like you know that you're about to have like a tough talk, and you have to choose your words wisely. It's exactly the same thing. Like, if somebody tells you, hey, I'd appreciate it if we talked like this for a moment. Or when you're referring to me, or when we're having a conversation, I'd appreciate this. And it's there's nothing truly like horribly demanding of that. You can just be okay. I'm going to, okay, I'm going to try to transition. I really don't think that it takes that much of an effort, and people can appreciate it. But I also do think that you're going to make mistakes. Like, we worked with a model in Rome,
mhm.
and before we had gotten to the point where I could understand how she understood herself,
How them?
yeah, exactly how she understood herself, I was referring to her as a she. And as soon as she said, like in my brain, as she said that, no, I referred to myself as them, I was like, okay, I'm going to make this transition. But she was so cool. They were so cool.
They.
They were so cool when I was referring to her as she. Like, they didn't have an issue with that. They didn't have a problem. And many times other people during the workshop referred to them as her, and they were totally cool because they knew that it wasn't coming from a bad place.
Mhm.
So that's what I'm saying. Even now, as I was trying to say this, I was messing up. And that's going to happen. People are going to mess up, and it's okay. It's okay. Again, if it comes from an effort in trying to respect, I think it's okay. I think it's that simple.
Roslyn was saying, hi, Nick, Danny, and chat. This painting is looking so good.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, Roslyn, Dion, how are you?
Rosaline Dion,
I always say that now.
my row will go on.
No,
No,
terrible.
that's not good.
Eric Carlson was saying, wonderful stream again, and a happy face. Hello from Finland. And they were saying, Benjamin Bjorkland, what do you think makes him so good? What is the item, the essence, that makes his painting exist on another level?
Oh, the Benjamin-ness.
Yeah, I was gonna
There's
say if it
nothing.
was that
Nah.
easy to say, oh my
No,
god.
there's
I
no.
would
You can't bottle that up. I'm
yeah.
sorry to say, there is no way that that anything about him can be
Deciphered
like taught, like quantified.
yeah.
No. I mean, you can look at his work objectively and you can see what he does, in terms of color. You could see how he applies paint. You can see there's tons of very formal ways in which
Mm-hmm.
you could judge his work. I just don't think that the answer lies there.
Hmm.
Like, you could try to train yourself to paint that way. I don't think there's many people that have the security that he has. Like, he
Yeah.
has such a bold way of making decisions, like very
Yes.
strange decisions also. So it's not even decisions that you can rationalize, but they are decisions that feel like his own, entirely his own. They're born from him just trying to make sense of things. That's where I always go like, okay, there's no way. Like, you can just, there are certain artists that you're supposed to like appreciate, but you're not supposed to, like, I don't know how much you can learn from them.
Mm. Yeah, because you could try to decipher what they do,
Yeah, and
but then you see them paint and they will execute in a different way. Because the thing is that you could take one painting and try to decipher that, take the other one and try to decipher that. But the thing that's making them different but still in the same range, like making them different but the same, is him. So you're never gonna be in his brain to know
yeah,
like how that decision making works.
yep. That's when we should just like say, okay, I'm just a passenger here.
Yeah, but
I'm a passenger in Ben's world.
yeah. Oh, and I'm happy to be.
Oh, I'm
I'm at best way to be a passenger.
best seat in
If
the
it's like,
house.
yeah, you have to see Benjamin's paintings all your life.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's like, yes, please. So, Gil Robles was saying, is your Kickstarter book only available through Kickstarter,
Yes.
or it will be available anywhere else?
No.
No, Gil.
Sadly, it won't be.
Yeah. So it was available through Kickstarter. Hala at 1 was saying hi
Holla.
and a heart emoji. I want to ask if you think that the Mona Lisa is overrated.
Yes. Short answer, yes. I mean, it's a great painting, but the most famous painting in humanity, like humanity's most famous painting, I don't know. Or no, it is humanity's most famous painting. Does it deserve to be humanity's most famous painting? I don't know.
Or is it humanity's most famous painting because of the painting itself?
I don't think so.
No, because
No.
I think that's the thing.
No, it's
It's
about
also
everything
because
that has surrounded it.
exactly. So, Liat was saying, Nicolas, I was thinking of offering one-on-one art tutoring, but I haven't done it before, so I wasn't sure if I should.
One-on-one tutoring, I think that's cool, but why are you not sure? I mean, that's always good.
Alfonso Peñalver Molina dice, hola, ¿has probado los acrílicos Liquitex Heavy Body? ¿Qué opinión tienes de ellos? Gracias.
No, honestamente no. Yo no tengo mucha experiencia con acrílicos. La experiencia que tuve fue con acrílicos súper como chirrilines. Unos colombianos ahí que compramos.
Como
¿Cómo se llaman?
baratos.
Produart. Produart.
No, ¿Produart de pronto?
Sí. Pero no, Liquitex, pues yo sé que es mejor marca, obviamente, pero honestamente no los he utilizado, no.
Mr. The Lucky Bucket was saying, is there a reason you keep changing brushes instead of using the same one?
if I change hues dramatically, so if I was working with those kind of pinkish, warmish tones, yellower tones, and then I'm gonna go for a blue, and I want the blue to be evidently blue. Might as well just grab another brush. And I grab this one because it's a little bit bigger, and I have to cover a little more ground without being careless. So I'm kind of stuck in that moment where I want to be brushy, but I don't want to be careless, which is kind of like very much my painting, I feel.
Ibrahim Salah was saying, "Thank you both again. I watch the live stream but do other things, so I don't hear always what you say. But you two are becoming my art psychologist. Art problem? Go to Nicholas and Danny."
You're gonna get the bill. That's when you're gonna start to. That's when you're gonna stop going.
Marcelo Peralta was saying, "Portuguese also comes from Latin. Latin? Latin? So the entire language is very gender based. Even objects are referred to with male or female pronouns. I've seen people proposing ways to make Portuguese neutral, but it will take us a very big transformation in how we speak. Most people really resist to that. This always reminds me of Reagan trying to remove America from the imperial to the metric system and how everyone felt so upset about it. It's kind of These kind of changes are really hard even if the resistiveness doesn't come from prejudice."
Yes, I completely agree with all of that. That I think that's where the world is at right now. And I think, if efforts are still being made, and if, probably most importantly, if throughout generations education starts to change, then for sure we're going to inch our way towards something that's more balanced. I think right now our problem is that there's no balance. There's like either or. It's like either you speak to me like I'm hoping that you speak to me, or you're being disrespectful. And that's very difficult. That's very, very difficult because the other side is thinking either you use the language like you're supposed to use it, or you just don't know how to speak. And that's the two sides that we're on. A person understanding that your choice is to be respectful, and that's why you're going to talk to them in a certain way. And the other side is your choice is to be educated, or you're going to sound like an idiot. I mean, when you think that those are the two opposing sides, it's like, where is the middle ground in that? There's no middle ground. There's no gray area for those two people to work together. So I think the only thing that is capable of reaching a middle ground when things are so polarized is time. The only thing that we can't control, which is time. And letting things, you work towards inclusivity, and you work towards being compassionate, and towards being open, and towards understanding that the world is far grayer than what you believe. If we kind of slowly work towards that world, which I think the world is better. Like if you think of 100 years ago, still slavery, women can't vote. Like, world is not perfect now. There are places where, women's voice still, is understood as less, and where slavery is very much so a thing. Even if it's not as overt as it was 100 years ago, like the prejudice is still very much there, alive. But I think it's a better world in many instances. So maybe it just takes a long time, and maybe we don't see it, but maybe we will have the kind of satisfaction of knowing that we're slowly gonna, hopefully build to a world that is that. But I do feel right now it's just that it's very heavy-handed what we're trying to do. It's really, really heavy-handed. So we're not understanding that eventually for this to happen, it's not that some people have to impose over others, which is kind of how we feel about these things. Like the good people, the good ones, we the good ones, which we have no idea who those people are, but we the good guys are going to impose ourselves over the bad guys. No, that doesn't work. That never works. Never ever works. You have to be able to sit down and have a conversation with somebody that you don't agree with. That is the point of like living in a healthy democracy. So we'll see.
CCBB was saying you said guys.
Of course, yeah. I'm gonna say, oh yeah, I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna say that 1,000 times over. There's no way, no way.
No,
Like-
but again, it's because maybe they were not here when you were talking about that. It's not like you're saying I'm gonna say that because I don't care.
No, no. It's just
No.
no. And in my brain, like I said, dude, to my girlfriends when I
Mhm.
was studying in New York. They would say, dude, to their girlfriends,
Mhm.
like, you know, and it was just like, dude, dude.
No, and they
It
were
was like, hey
saying
guys, we should, you know, if a girl was in charge of being the assistant of class, she would be like, hey guys, talking to like 30 of us, which were of all genders. Hey guys, remember to put the lights in the closet. Like it was just that's, you know, I never like I lived in a healthy place where I didn't never felt that there was judgment being thrown around, you know, with language in that way, where those words were just, you know, part of my language, and they have been part of my language ever since. So that's what I was meaning about flexibility. Like, if you know somebody's coming from a good place, it's, you know, then that's where you have to be like patient and flexible.
yeah, but CCBB was then sending a laughing emoji and saying I'm pulling your leg.
Oh no. That's why I said
So-
like that's why I said it's not gonna happen once or twice. It's gonna happen all the time. All
And
the time.
let's see.
Do you remember their name? The model in Rome?
Oh my god.
We
Because
could
I follow them.
yeah, we could work like let's try.
Mm,
And they were super nice.
so nice.
Ze it sounded like Zelda?
no.
No? I have an easy way to know their name, but because I know a friend had told me
Soda.
Zora.
Yeah. I was Googling.
Zora.
I
That's
was
another
Googling.
Zelda name, isn't it?
Yeah. I
Uh,
was trying to see in the Rome workshops,
Yeah.
but then I remembered. So, yes.
So even when I was trying to refer to Zora, I was messing up. But trust me, you know, we had an amazing experience with them when we were in Rome. Amazing. And I'm sure that even there, I messed up while talking to them. And they were totally cool. Totally cool.
Hmm.
I mean, Sora was just so open and okay with everything, understanding that you were being respectful. That's the thing. Because respect in many ways, like true respect, you know, this initial respect among like strangers, you know, that's you have that feeling, you know, when somebody's being respectful. So I'm sure they were okay with those mistakes, and I'm sure they happened for sure.
CCBB was saying, love your neighbor, be kind to others, love your show. Liat was saying, Nicolas, I disagree with you. I think the framing is that it's polarizing, but in my experience, if you're coming in good faith but accidentally use the wrong pronouns or something, people are very forgiving. Yeah, but that's what you were
Oh,
saying.
Liat, I think that's
Exactly.
I and I'm sorry if I didn't express myself correctly, but I think that's kind of what I was saying. Yeah, Danny, did I like
No. Maybe when you were referring to, like, when you were being super drastic about talking about the two sides. So there's people that get mad, and there's people that's gonna are saying like, I'm not gonna change the way I talk.
right?
So maybe when you were putting those examples, but I think you
Oh.
were very like you were
I was trying-
iterating tons that
Yeah,
people, if you come from a good side and if you come from like trying,
yeah.
they are very forgiving, and
Yeah.
that's why you put the example of soda.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe I was trying to explain like somebody else's voice, and then Liat thought it was my
Maybe.
own. or I was trying to express how both one of those extremes feels, and Liad maybe thought it was the way I was speaking. I'm just
Liat was
describing.
saying, yeah, when he was talking about people being on two sides, and yes, there's a delay in that chat and video. Yeah, but I think that what Nicolas was saying is not that he feels that people are not forgiving. He's saying that there's like that those bottoms of the spectrum of people being like, you have to know how to talk, period. So if you make one mistake, like, don't do it because you don't have to do it. Like, you can't make any mistake. And the other extreme being, I'm not going to talk like that. I'm not going to, like, I don't know, they say like bend the language or like
Modify it like the
modify the
language.
language exactly. But I think it was more like Nicolas trying to give an example to say that with time, when we're going to get is a place that things would be easier for, like, in terms of language, to know that that's the way, because we are now in the transition moment of it.
And
So
we're at a stalemate where it's very clear, at least to me, um, that there is like one part of society that wants to, that is trying to incorporate changes in language, and there's another part of society that is like, I'm not going to change language. Language is like a thing that we've agreed upon, and I'm not going to
yeah,
change it. I'm sorry.
but I think the hard thing in that, and that's my opinion, but for example, Marcelo was saying the example of the imperial to metric system.
Yeah.
And I know that, I know that, I get that, but I think that in this case, it's people, and it's people telling you, hey, I'm feeling that you're letting me out of the conversation, that you're pushing me out of the conversation because you're not referring to me as I feel I am. So I think it's different, and that's why I feel, and that's why you were also saying that it's important to try. Because by trying and by modifying the way you refer to someone, the only thing you're going to do is knowing that they're invited in the conversation too, knowing that they're part of what you're talking to. So that's why I said that if someone tells you, hey, I don't like to be referred as a him, and if you say, it doesn't matter, I'm still going to call you him, well, that's very bad on you because you're using the language to hurt someone. If you're doing it knowing that someone's telling you, hey, this makes me feel bad. So,
Yeah. But and again, sadly, we're at a point that it doesn't seem right now, at least right now, that either side is willing to change. Like the one side that is, you know, um, uh, is just, firmly saying language is the set thing, which is not really. Language is super
no.
fluid,
Hmm.
but language is the set thing that we have to respect. There are norms, and probably, underneath that statement, they do believe that, they're very binary in understanding gender. Most of the times, those people, if you look at the Venn diagrams, they probably people that are respectful of language. They also believe that, it's men and women, and that's it. So there's a lot of things that are crossed in there, but I do feel that right now it just doesn't seem like the people that believe one thing want to like nudge themselves or slowly move towards, a middle, and the people that want to change everything into a more inclusive language, they feel that, the other spectrum, the other end of the spectrum, is just it's just being absolutely ignorant, and I don't know. I just think that when there is a willingness to meet in the middle, whatever that may be, because we can't really see that right now because we're not at a place where we can see what that middle means, is when things change. Because I really do think that the world changes when everyone can start to build towards change, like everyone meaning like the vast majority of us human beings, and not just when whatever we understand as the good people overtake the bad people, because both sides think that way. So that's like civil war. That's like humans against humans. That is just Nothing has ever come out. Nothing good has ever come out of just people standing in like two opposite ends of the spectrum. It just doesn't. And if you think it does, look at the US, which is supposed to be the biggest democracy in the world. Look what happens every time they vote. There is 50% of people that vote for one side and 50% of people that vote for the other side. That's it. So what you always get is 50% of people that don't believe in the things that you believe in. And nothing is going to change if you always think that that there's 50% of people that are stupid, uneducated, wrong, ignorant, dumb. That nothing is going to change. Nothing in this world is ever going to change. So I don't know. I think we're going to get there, but I think it's going to take a long time. I really do. And I hope we do. I hope we do get there. Because that's a better world. I think that's objectively a better world. But I just, it probably takes other, next generations for us to do that.
Emily Hughes Art was saying, well said, Nicolas. Reminds me of when people were upset that paint brands such as Camblin changed the name of the paint from Flesh to Naples Orange. The effort to be more inclusive is always only a good thing, in my opinion. Yes.
So in that sense, I was one of those people that thought that was ridiculous. That all our whole lives we had.
No. But she was saying that people that said that it was ridiculous, they changed their name.
But no. So I'm saying like I'm with that. So I was one of the people that felt that it was ridiculous to have
that name.
I was always, and maybe these are like sometimes people think that small things are irrelevant.
Yeah, but wait, because I said that name, like that name as in flesh.
Yeah, flesh.
For the name. Exactly. Because I want
always
to
going towards like a
make
pink.
Clear our point.
I think, if there's a lot of people that have followed us throughout the years, they kind of already know what we're talking about.
There's people that are new, so I think it's important too.
To make this what essentially or fundamentally is a weird and maybe more complex conversation to try to make it somewhat digestible. I loved when my daughter could start having conversations about saying, hey, if somebody asked her, like, oh, do you have flesh? She would be like, hey, I don't understand. What color are you asking for? Are you asking about this pink? Because this pink is not really flesh. I mean, it's the one color that we associate with flesh because we were just almost like indoctrinated into thinking that that's how you paint flesh. And if you don't think this is a big thing, or if you don't think this is a thing or if you think this is a thing that only like kids in kindergarten go through, oh, do me a favor. Type painting flesh on YouTube and let me know what type of flesh is the one that's depicted in every single one of the videos that is going to come up. Every single one of the videos. In fact, check yourselves, because I do that also. When I just said painting flesh, what did you imagine? When I just said there is a tutorial on painting flesh, what did you imagine right now? And there's your answer. You don't need anything else. Mm-hmm. You don't need it. You know it. Like, search in your heart. You know what I'm saying. You know what is happening. So, sure, if there were steps that could be taken, even if for us it seems like the most minuscule steps, and this is like a ridiculous conversation, and this is like, oh my God, like you're trying to change the world by changing Crayola names. You know what?
Yes.
It does change.
Yes. And it does change. Also because you're talking to kids.
Yeah.
And I even remember a video where there were lots of kids and they asked the kids to choose the flesh color. And there were white people, black people, and all of the kids chose the one that was labeled as flesh, which is terrible.
Yeah.
Because then you start thinking, oh, maybe my flesh is not flesh. Maybe I'm not part of that. Like maybe mine is a different from the flesh that is in the Crayola or in the colors I use as a kid. And which are the things that just like make you what you are as an adult. So
yeah.
Marcelo Peralta was saying, agreed, Danny. I didn't mention the metric system because I think it's the same thing. It's actually a very small thing when compared to people's identity. Just wanted to point out how change is hard, even when it's about very simple things.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the reason why it was okay to give up on the metric system, but we have to keep working on changing society in a way that respects everyone. Yes. Yes, and that's why I used the example, Marcelo, not because you were saying that they were the same, but because I think that what people don't realize is that they are not the same. Because in one, you're talking about metrics, numbers, way of measuring, like, I don't know, numbers to put in a ruler. Nomenclature, is that a way of
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
it?
yeah.
To put in a ruler. But in the other one, you're talking about people. And you're talking about people that feel that they don't belong because of the way you're using your language. So I think that's why we should say, hey, am I willing to
Wait.
wait?
Yeah.
Like, am I willing to like draw the line here and say, no, I'm not going to change my language, even if I'm hurting people with what I'm saying? Just because you think that language is something like set in stone and it does not have to change, just because you're disrespecting language. I think it's, I think you should think that one is disrespecting language, and language has no feelings, and the other one's disrespecting people and making people feel bad and feel that they're not part of something. So, um, Guillaume Loret was saying, hello everyone, painting along. Not always motivated, but having you in background helps so much. Thanks again for doing this. Now we're happy to have you here too, Guillaume. Because, I mean, it's not like we're your company, you're also our company. You all are our company.
I
So,
thought you were going to say it's not like we're motivated.
no. Um, Amar Mosin. So I'm going to ask this question and I'm going to step out for 1 second. Yes?
Of course.
Amar Mosin was saying, do you think representational art is coming back in a big way? I'll be back in 1 sec.
Depends on how you understand coming back, or it depends on how you understand trends in the art world. Because I would say it never left. I would say it never left. I've never felt, at least in my lifetime, and I was supposed to be living in times where figurative art was certainly not, it was not the devil as it was in the 70s when I was a kid. Like I was born late 70s, 77, and I can understand how maybe late 60s, early 70s, figurative, like traditional figurative art, or like classically trained artists didn't quite have a place. But regardless of what the art world was saying or what the market was saying, people were still painting, and people were still painting figuratively all over this planet. So I don't think I think we need to like be aware of what we're referring to when we say, is it, oh, is it coming back? Like it never left. Like Antonio Lopez was painting, the way he beautifully and wonderfully paints, in a moment where nobody cared for that painting, but all you needed was one person to care for that painting, which was the artist that was choosing to paint that way, and for them to stick to the things that they knew to be true to themselves and knew to love. So that's all we needed as human beings, to understand that this was never going to leave, that this really was never going to disappear, because it's not, I don't think it's a thing that disappears, or I don't think it's a trendy thing. And now that's what I truly believe in, that these are um that these are intents that have nothing to do with how the art world behaves. Like I think the willingness to represent ourselves is just such a primal thing that I cannot see how that is ever going to disappear or change. Like to me, it's just impossible thinking about society just moving forward. I don't know if better or worse, but moving forward, and this not having this desire to understand itself, its own like humanity, through a very instinctual thing, which is like picture making. Just, this visual language that we've established for ourselves. I don't know. I think this is here forever to stay. Now, what you're referring to, probably, just so that we're not just answering very naively this question, what you're referring to is how, galleries behave, how the art market behaves, and how sometimes some things are put more on display than other things. And it's certainly true that there's a contemporary figurative movement that very much so has to do with gender. I really feel. I saw a meme the other day that they were saying like, if you're not a figurative painter and you're not a woman, I'm sorry, but you have no place. It's a joke, obviously, but it's playing. It's acknowledging that it's very like gender heavy. It's open. It's kind of trying to balance things. I don't know if in this effort to balance a lot of the things that were happening before, galleries realized, oh, we are not representing women. Like 80%, 85% of the people that we represent are male. And it is just about tipping the scale a little bit more. So it's a joke about favoring, somebody over another. But there is such a thing. I've seen this referred to as queer formalism or queer intimism.
I think it's queer intimism.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but there's a formalist
Hmm.
also, like a broader formalist, because queer doesn't have to be intimist. Also, queer can
Hmm.
be quite overt. So there's and by formalism they refer to like painting kind of for the sake of painting, like painting going back to just painting's sake. Um, and sure, there are trends like that. You can see that in most big galleries, they have like figurative artists for sure. Um, so yeah, I mean, is that the thing is I don't associate trend with something um, like with relevance. Relevance is about something that we as human beings find indispensable to do as a species, like this is important for me as a human being to like express this way, to like understand that I'm speaking about my own humanity, I'm reflecting my own humanity, and that's, I don't know, I don't think that's ever going to change. And then trends, it's just about, oh, what won this price, or what is this gallery mostly showing, or when I go to the Venice Biennial, like what am I seeing most of? And sure, like slowly people said, oh, painting is making a comeback. And then slowly people said, oh, figurative painting is making a comeback. But you know what? I just don't like to believe that those things are, fundamentally true. First of all, because I think it's ridiculous to believe that they are like things just are understood as being relevant, and then I don't know, we just choose to understand them as irrelevant at some point, and then choose to understand them as relevant once again. I don't know. I just don't like to believe in things fluctuating that way. What I what I what I know happens is that certain people that are very powerful decide that those are the trends that are going to make them money, and that's about it, and they push those trends. But I'd like to believe that I'm going to paint how I'm going to paint, regardless of what those people decide. Because if not, then I'm deciding, I am openly admitting that I am a person that is going to be beholden to what they, decide. And I have no say in what they decide, in what these collectors and gallery owners and curators, these very powerful people that we can, understand them as trendsetters in the art world. We have no say in what they in the decisions that they make, because the decisions that they make don't involve us. They involve them making themselves richer, and that's about it, and more popular and more powerful. But we have no say in those decisions. Like they don't care at all what we think. They'll only care about us if we signify people that can feed into that market, either because we are the painters making the images or because we are now new collectors of those images. We are going to bet on the images that are going to make them ultimately a lot of money. Um, so no, I just don't. I'm not that person. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. Uh, you know, before I did. Let's put it this way: I did what I did before them, and I'm gonna keep doing what I'm gonna do after them because it is what I'm gonna do. Like they had no effect on my life
Mm.
before I met them, and they'll have no effect on my life after I've known who they are or what they are planning for in the art world. So, so no, I'm sorry, but I'm just gonna do my own thing. And I think those are the lessons that when you look back and you look at all these people that kept these, what we consider or what we understand as our traditions alive. I'm being very general, by the way. But when I'm saying that, I'm meaning like, let's say a classically based painting, but or painting with some sort of traditional foundation in it. Um, the people that were living in a time where where they were dismissed heavily, they kept those things alive because they didn't give a fuck. Like they were
Mm-hmm.
just, could you imagine Antonio Lopez giving a fuck
Hmm.
that de
Well, he
Kooning,
wouldn't be
yeah, that de Kooning was alive?
exactly.
I mean, he comes from the tradition of Picasso. Just
Mm-hmm.
think about that. He was in a country where Picasso had just turned everything upside down. Everything,
Mm.
every bit of understanding of art upside down. He was in Europe, which made him far more affected by Duchamp, let's say, and vanguards in art. So um, think about what it meant for him to say, you know what? I know that people don't give a fuck about like Bouguereau or don't give a crap about the tradition of Spanish painting. I am going to sit in this intersection. I'm going to stand with these three sticks of that are my easel in this intersection of this street, and I'm going to paint the buildings the way I want to paint these buildings.
And for the longest
Yeah,
period of
and I'm
time.
going to paint here for 15 minutes one day, and I'm going to come back here tomorrow and paint for half an hour, and I'm going to come back here the next day and paint for an hour and a half, and
Mm.
I'm going to come back here the next summer and paint because the light has changed. And I'm not going to give a fuck about what people say. That's the lesson. That is the lesson.
Yeah.
So we needed those people to remind us that who cares what, like, who the hell cares? And sadly, sure, we are going to be affected by it, by those decisions that those powerful people make, because how the bigger art market behaves, the smaller art market behaves. So if Gagosian and David Zwirner are making decisions that affect the bigger art world, those little decisions, they kind of like trickle down to like medium sized galleries and bigger and smaller sized galleries. And if you are, let's say, if they want to push figurative painting, and if you're a figurative painter, you may not understand it, but you are feeling the effects of them
Of
pushing it.
course, yeah.
So that means that maybe you're going to have a bigger clientele in your gallery. Maybe your gallery that was having a hard time selling now is, now there's people that perhaps can't buy at Gagosian or can't buy at Zerner, but are saying, hey, my local gallery sells some of like artwork that is kind of like that. I'm going to go to my local gallery and buy some
Mm.
artwork. That's why they have such a huge effect on everything that comes after them. Um, so sadly, what happens to us, like the artists that are, small and nobody kind of like these bigger leagues they don't care about, what happens to us is that we are directly affected in the sense that we're either going to have a smaller market based on what they decide or a bigger market based
Yeah.
on what they decide.
But that's how it affects us.
Yep.
Not in the way of, it's not like we have to chase every trend. Because then
Oh,
you'll,
that's a choice. Yeah.
yeah, but the hard thing there is that you're gonna end up echoing every single trend and like your voice in what you do, or like the your true bond with the things you want to do is gonna get lost,
And
because
if
it's
you
very hard to you, like for you to say no. Is the thing is that I feel like every single trend that's happening, it's my own voice. It's like they're reading my mind. No, of course, no. Of course, that's not happening. Maybe your work can coincide with one of the trends. Maybe the thing that the big galleries thing is cool right now can be something that you really are into it. And then, as you were saying, you're going to be affected in a good way because everyone's going to be trying to buy that. So that's going to make your market bigger. But if you're just saying yes to every trend, where where's the you in there? Like, where's the you in that creative process?
or it's the equivalent to like chasing the algorithm.
Yeah.
It's like if you're gonna chase, you're gonna chase your whole life.
Yeah, also that, because, I mean, maybe it's like, no, so figurative. And you're like, oh, damn, I'm not into figurative art, but let's try it. And then you, like, try to go to a lot of art classes, and you have mentorships and whatever. And you're like, well, I'm in a place that I think I can kind of show what I'm doing. I'm kind of okay with what I'm doing. And then, boom, the trend changes. And it's like you can never be like in that rhythm all the time.
No, I mean you can try, you can go crazy
Yeah, but
trying.
when you're reaching one, they've already changed 3 times.
Yeah, and you're always going to be
So,
lagging, always going to be lagging. So if you realize that these people are in charge of making those decisions, you're never going to be part of those decisions, or the 0.0001 of us is going to be part of those decisions, because only very, very few people in this world are able to get into those galleries and shape the work that those galleries are going to push. Oh my God, those are just, I mean, they are extraordinary, those people.
yeah, well,
They're
those
not,
are the
the
quote unquote,
numbers are just minuscule.
yeah, they're like the trendsetters,
Yeah,
which
there's,
is so hard because every single thing in the market is bending because of what they're doing.
yeah,
So it's hard to think that I'm going to be that trendsetter, because it's like, as you were saying, the numbers they have to move, like the influence they have in art and in the art market is so powerful that there's just like so many people that can be that person.
mm,
So,
yeah. So honestly, it, at least in my case, when you realize that you're so not powerless, because that's not power, like fuck them, but when you realize that it has nothing to do with you, you can then say it's quite liberating. You can say, you know what? I'm just going to do whatever the hell I want. And I'm going to fight for whatever the hell I want. I'm going to try to search for whatever the hell I want. Because if you find a place where you can be the artist that you want to be, and by not changing anything about you, by just doing the exact same thing that you love to do, if you find that place, then you are in control. You are in total control of what you do. Well, as much control as you can, because you can't obligate people to buy your work. You can't just like make people like your work. But if you found a place, if you found the right place where you're receiving very generous kind of support, and you know that like if you're working for a gallery, that everyone in that gallery believes firmly in what what you're saying with your work, and they are making great efforts in trying to promote your work and socialize your work and sell your work. Like if you're hitting those places, like that's like stay there and just be happy there. And even if that doesn't make you like the world's most famous painter or like the wealthiest painter, trust me, like that place can give you years and years and years of like a stable peace of mind, and it's going to feel like home, and it's wonderful. The other thing is just like chasing this very elusive,
yeah.
very, very highly elusive dream of thinking that I'm going to change the world. Like I'm going to be that artist that's going to change everything. If you believe you are, oh my God, go for it. Like, if you truly believe that that's your calling, go nuts. But, and sure, there has to be someone that believes in that and they truly, are capable of that. But like I said, I don't think that's a thing that everyone should believe in because it does not work that way. It really doesn't work that way. You might as well. I think artists are happier when they can just say, you know what, I'm going to do what I like. I'm going to be open to of course I can be open to criticism, to suggestion, to everything, but I'm going to do essentially what I like. And I'm just going to find a home for my work. I'm going to struggle and look and search and search and search to find a community that's the that receives my work, that understands my work, that celebrates my work like fairly. But I'm not gonna bend over backwards trying to appease things that I just don't, or to follow things that I have no idea, how to I have no idea when I'm gonna be asked to do something that is just out of my reach. Out of my reach.
Let's see. Karol Gniazdowski was saying also we have to remember the quote unquote demand side of the market, the buyers. It's not only the galleries that are omnipotent, they fight for the buyers, so the system is dispersed.
Yes, but sometimes buyers, I think there's a very small percentage of buyers that
Again,
just love work.
Okay. I thought you were going to address the trendsetters in the buyers too.
Oh,
The
right.
very high power,
Oh, yeah, right.
powerful buyers that
Yeah.
affect the way the galleries.
But that's also a very small, I would say those are very small.
Yeah.
But usually, I mean, there are buyers, like Danny says, there are buyers that want to change the world, for sure. There are buyers that love the work, that could care less about what's going on in the world. And they're just going to buy and say, how much is that? Oh, $100,000. Oh my God, I love this. I want this. I just want this because it's something that I want. It makes me happy. I have the money. I can buy it. I'm going to buy it. I don't care what anyone else say. I don't care if people say it's good or bad, or I don't care. I don't care. But what you're going to get most of is buyers, and we're talking about high-end market. It's buyers that just, want to feel that the thing that they're buying is a good investment. That is really the truth. Most buyers want to be able to have the freedom to say, in 5-10 years, I want to be able to sell this if I have to, and know that I didn't lose any money, and maybe what I did was earn a lot of, make a lot more money.
Yeah, an investment.
Yeah. There's no different. A lot of buyers are no different buying art than if they were buying real estate. Than if they're buying a house and they're just going to put it to the side and say, maybe I'm betting on this and maybe I'm hoping that I can sell this,
Yeah,
5 years, 10 years from now, that this area is going to suddenly become whatever, gentrified, or become I don't know, whatever. And it's going to be far more expensive. And I can double, my investment. A lot of people think that way. And it's, I would say that most of the art market behaves that way in the higher spectrum of the art market.
Mm-hmm.
So for them, it's just about money. And if they want to make money, they have to listen to the people that control that, that control the scheme that is built so that those people can make money. It's super simple. And remember, it's you're buying in early. That's how rich people that buy art, that's how they make their money. You buy in early. So for you to buy in early, it's not like stocks, because when you would share that information, that's probably illegal. But because art is not regulated, the directors in a gallery could have these weird ass parties with masks and naked people dancing with goats. They can have those moments, and they can say, who we're going to push? We're going to push Danny. Yeah, next year we're going to push Danny. It's going to be the year of Danny. So right now, yeah, Danny's selling for $10,000. Don't even worry. Don't even worry. Give us
That's
one
not
show.
what I'm selling for.
One show, she's going to sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars. So don't worry, we're going to have a show next month where she's going to sell. Nobody knows her. She's going to sell for tens of thousands. Buy everything. Let's buy everything. All of us naked with goats. Let's buy everything of Danny. Like, nobody knows about this. So what happens to Danny, and maybe sometimes Danny is completely oblivious to this. She's not even in the, yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're not even in the know. Just,
yeah,
it doesn't
just like
matter.
A piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, you don't even matter, Danny, for them.
Yeah.
So they'll be like, oh, Danny, you had a show? Oh my God, you sold out. That's so great. And you made, maybe you had, let's say you had 20 pieces selling at $10,000, $200,000 of sales, you get $100,000. So you were like, oh my God, I sold everything. I am going back home with $100,000. That is incredible. But what you're not realizing is that this dude is saying like, no, that was not, it's a long game. He could care less about making $100,000. He's going to make $100,000 every time you sell something next show. So he is not about that $100,000 right now. And he has to convince a lot of people that have a lot of money that, they're going to, at that point, spend tens of thousands. But 2 years or a year and a half later, oh, those $10,000, oh, give me that painting when people are just foaming at the mouth, like wanting, like chomping at the bit, wanting like a Danny.
Yeah, to hop in that.
And it's like, oh, I have an early Danny. That's amazing, by the way. I'll sell it to you. Sure. And you bought it for 10, but you're going to sell it for 150. That's when you make cool money. And for those people, sometimes it's not about making 150 because maybe they're so rich that if they make 150, it's like, yeah, I made 150. But it's the feeling that you're kind of besting this market, the feeling that you did something intelligent, and the feeling that you were able to turn 10 into
that your money is like reproducing.
Yeah, it's kind of like that joy of like, oh, this is like, I bested the system. Like, I know how to make money. That is the rush. That is the cool feeling that they get. But then when they're done with you, they'll have no issue with like saying, oh no, Danny's like not relevant anymore.
And the hard part for the artist in that moment is that if they inflate their market so much, then they're bound to be broke. In like, as soon as they don't want to pay more attention to you, you're broke. Because then your market is so inflated that you can't, quote unquote, can't sell for less.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have to put your pieces for $1 million. But the thing is that no one wants to buy them
anymore.
Because then your market is just like not moving. It's not good for people that want to do that investment. So then they just used you and you're done. They're done with you, so you're done.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it sounds harsh, but
it's horrible. But that's
how it is.
That's what's happened with tons of contemporary artists.
And there's a lot of artists that have been like the lucky ones, like the ones that are picked, and
that they can remain like the same.
They can still be relevant.
Yeah.
And they can like stay there, but it's what we were talking about, like the trendsetters. It's like 1 in a million.
Very few.
Less than 1 in a million.
Very few. And many times it just doesn't depend on you. You just have to be right place, right time, right work, right personality, the right gallery director, the right review, like the perfect pieces at the right time.
Yeah.
For that to happen.
And
it's as absurd as saying like, oh, you're perfect right now, but you're a cis dude. It's not like, sorry, like we're pushing women or queer. I'm sorry, but it could have been perfect, but it's not the right time for you. And that is how it works. Like, that's how like arbitrary it can be. I mean, it's not quite arbitrary, but that's how out of your hands it can be. So you have to be like, if that's the game you want to play, that is not an easy game. And I was thinking, Danny, what you were saying, and on top of that, imagine like the pressure on you to believe that now you're a super relevant artist, and that every single thing that you do is going to be under a microscope because people now are noticing you.
Yeah.
People are like, oh my God, this is the new artist that Gagosian or the Zwirner is pushing.
Mm.
And they just sold 2 shows. They sold out 2 shows. First at 15 grand, now at 150. Let's see what they come up with next. And you're like, I don't know.
And they're also pushing for you to produce and produce and produce more.
And imagine you going back to your studio saying like, I don't know, maybe I was like a $15,000 artist. Maybe I'm not meant to be this enormous, artist where every single gaze is like, pointing towards me and everyone's like paying attention to everything that I'm doing and everyone's going to see my shortcomings from now on. And that's how it works. I mean, it's so unfair and so sad that many times I think people that wish that they were like in the big leagues, I sometimes say, really? Really, really? Like I don't know if you realize how weird that place is and how unfair it could be, how like horribly unfair it could be. I don't know. I'm like, count your blessings. If you're doing well, don't move. Don't think the grass is always greener. Like, just keep going. Keep doing what you're doing.
So I'm going to take my medicine.
Yeah.
I have it right here. So cheers, everyone.
Okay.
With
2
my
shots of
matcha.
vodka.
No, I'm just about to be done with my matcha,
With
which
the
was
vodka?
the whole bottle. So I'm in a very alert calmness.
Yeah,
state.
drunkenness does that to you. Whoa. Don't choke,
I
Danny.
spilled everything.
Don't choke, Danny,
Oh my
please.
God. My sweater, Nicolas.
Yeah?
Why did I did this on
You told me that you were going to do like a wet t-shirt thing, but you wanted
Nicolas?
it to
I
be
have
like
a sweater that's like the most
wet
opaque
sweater.
thing.
I mean,
So-
we're Andean. We're an Andean
No.
country, so
No, and if you're looking for that, not here ever.
no.
So
Follow the link though.
By the way, that's a joke. We always joke with this. It's
Yeah.
not. I don't feel bad with the jokes that Nicolas does.
I love that.
'Cause I
By
know.
the way, that's a joke.
Well, yeah, because then people could be like, "Hey, don't say things about her like that."
Oh, yeah.
So no, that's how we joke.
Yeah, please. Please.
Let's see. Belico Djuric was saying hello, guys. Hey, Belico. Oh, and I wanted to ask you, at what
Me.
time? Yeah, is Fer? So
So Samu gets here first, I
okay.
feel.
Yeah, because I was gonna open the app.
Yeah, maybe can you open it? And
Yeah.
maybe because I do think
Sure.
that she just left school.
Perfect.
But Samu, no, this is not Samu. This is too early.
Yes.
So I'm saying Samu because I'm hearing. I think I recognize like his little bus.
Oh no, maybe in half an hour. But
Yeah, I recognize like the chugging, the little motor chugging of
Yeah,
the bus. Like,
and the like the clock of the,
the clutch?
door.
Oh yeah,
No,
yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no. When he closes.
Oh yeah. Because it's a little van. It's not like a
Yeah.
bus. It's like a little van.
Let's see. Alejandro Morales was saying, "Why are you taking medicine, Danny?" Alejandro, because
First of all,
Hi,
hello,
how are you?
Alejandro.
Yes. So happy to see you back here, Alejandro.
Danke schön for your concern.
Danke schön, mi amor.
Danke schön.
Danke schön.
Danke.
Alejandro, I got a flu. I got a cold. I caught a cold. I don't know how to say that.
Caught, but yeah,
Caught
sure,
a
sure.
cold. And
A virus, I would
a
say.
virus, yeah.
And
Well-
by the way, we're not being vague about it. We just don't know what Danny had.
No,
Honestly,
no.
we just
No, the doctors even they had no idea. I mean, they said so now they're treating with some antibiotic an infection. So I had a little infection in the lung. So they were treating that with the antibiotic, the inhaler, and yeah, and a little like syrup thing for the for coughing. So yep, that's it. The thing is that I have like to take it at certain times of the day. Like she was like, be very like strict with the hours because that helps a lot for the recovery. So I have my alarms, and when I stepped out for the other medicine, I brought this one here.
But she's doing a lot better.
A lot
So
better, yeah.
Danny's okay.
No, and as I was saying, when I got the shot, it really helped me because it was like I was breathing again. Like
Breathing
could-
again.
no, breathing.
What are you?
breathing.
Are you trying to tell me something,
Nicolas,
Danny?
you did the exact same. I think you.
Well,
it
you
was
should
like
stop
copy
breathing
paste.
without me noticing. I think that's
Uh,
something that I should be involved in, even though I can't breathe anymore. But
no, and I don't want to breathe. So.
okay, so please don't play with me like that.
So no, when I got the shot, it really helped me, like to open the lungs. So very helpful. Alejandro was saying, "I wish you a speedy recovery, Danny." That sounds like a lot of medicine. A little bit, but it all helps, and I'm feeling way better. I'm sleeping through the whole night, which is amazing. So yeah, but no, I'm getting better, and I'm being very juiciosa. How do you say it? I'm being very
Juicy.
no,
No?
very
Responsible?
responsible. No, yeah,
Judicious. If you want
no,
it like
no, judicious.
yeah, that's the word.
Okay,
That's the word that you're looking for.
judicious.
Yeah.
I've never said that in my world, in my life.
Well, yeah, because you say I've never said that in my world, but that's the word.
In my world.
That's the word.
Oh, but it's weird because you don't usually use judicious in English,
Mm-hmm.
but in Spanish we use juiciosa a lot.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. So I was right because I missed that part.
No, I didn't Google it.
Oh,
I'm believing in you.
oh, that's a weird way of believing in me.
By by not
totally doubting
Googling?
what I'm telling you
Googling,
wholeheartedly.
Googling. I don't know. Alejandro Morales was
Uh-huh.
saying, Nico, great painting. I have not been able to see you in a while, but following your works each time I can.
Oh, thank you so much. Very kind. We've missed you.
Yeah, and we're happy to have you here. Happy to have you. So, where was I?
I don't know.
Spilling all my matcha.
Yeah.
Emily Hughes Art was saying, I agree 100%. I was shocked that so many people considered it too small of a thing to focus on. It's a huge thing, but even if it wasn't, small steps are important as well. Gaff Gaff, so Katia Belilovsky. Hey, Katia.
Belly lovely having her here.
Katia was saying, hello, friends. So glad to be here again. So glad to have you here again, Katia.
Always, Katya.
And Katia was saying, beautiful painting, Nicolas.
Oh, thank
Did you do underpainting during the night?
Oh, no. This
and
was
like a winking with the tongue out
no.
emoji.
This was
With the
was one of those days that
tongue
we
out?
couldn't do. What's that?
No. That I said winking with the tongue out, but
What?
then I said tongue.
Oh my God!
I
Is
don't
that how
know
you're
what-
breathing?
No.
Yeah.
So with the tongue.
Yeah.
out.
Tongue.
I always go with tongue.
Well,
so tongue.
I mean, I'm not gonna judge you, but
Winking with the tongue out.
yeah.
So no, go ahead. I don't know why.
No. I'm just letting that sit in for everyone to make a mental note of that. I forget now. Now I'm just picturing you in a thong. That's
No, don't say that.
okay, but that's
So-
you put that image in my head.
so-
Like I can't.
No, Katia. The thing
No,
is that
Katia.
Katia. He did the drawing and the underpainting, like the underdrawing and the underpainting, while we were unable to stream because of my cold. So that's why you haven't seen it before. Yes. So that's
Mm.
why. That's the reason.
Mm-hmm.
Sebastián Beregibus was saying, saludos Nicolás y Daniela desde Long Island City.
Long Island.
Long Island City, Queens, New York. Thank you for
Oh.
everything you do. You usually keep me company at night when I paint. I rarely get a chance to watch during the day while I'm at work. And a wink emoji.
Look at
So,
you disregarding work. No, that's awesome.
so I think they're watching while working right now.
Yeah, it's completely irresponsible.
Um, let's
Long
see.
Island City, but that's Queens, so not quite Long Island. Long
Long Island
Island.
City, Queens, New York.
Yeah, still Queens.
So, Jairo Peñaranda was saying, "Hi Nicolas, I also believe that social media pushes the division in society." Mm,
Yeah, it doesn't help. It doesn't. I mean, very rarely do you hear somebody says, "You know what? I'm grateful for Twitter. It brought the best out of me."
yeah.
Yeah, that's not a thing.
Or if they say that, it's because maybe they are like terribly opinionated and unapologetic,
Babaldelically.
unapologetic. So
Yeah.
they are like, "Oh yeah, I find
I
my
found
place," but it's
my
like, no,
Colosseum.
you didn't found your place. You're just being rude in a place you think admits that, but you're still being a dumb
Ass.
person, dumbass. That's what I was gonna say, but that
Oh,
sounds
go for
weird.
it, dumbass. Yeah,
No,
sure.
because I'm never like cursing or
Well,
saying
you
bad
know,
things,
the
but
ones the few times that you
but
do it,
for
it
that
means something.
for that
Yeah, freaking dumbass.
person that does not exist,
No,
dumbass.
dumbass.
Let's see. Criptos en español was saying, "Where is the change coming from? Who decided about it? Did you vote for it? Social engineering comes from somewhere. Where from?"
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, is
Mm,
that like
I think it's like a rhetorical
Oh yeah,
question.
yeah, yeah.
I
It
think.
always like in the same way that we were saying that there's people in power that were in charge of tipping the scales of the art market for sure. I mean, there's always been people in power that tip the scale in terms of the social construction of this world.
Mm, Molly Miles was saying, "Who do you think the current game changers are?
Oh,
I feel
jeez.
like AI Weiwei has
I
I
wait.
Weiwei. Oh, yeah,
I
I
love it.
Weiwei.
I
Because I
love it.
thought
No, no.
AI,
Yeah, I love that you said it
but it's
that
not.
way.
No, I know. Of course, I know the artist,
Yeah, I
but I was like
love that you said it that
AI.
way.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh, I think he would have liked he
Inception. Maybe
yeah.
that's the new show.
Yeah.
AI Weiwei. So it's
Oh,
like a mix
like
of what.
heavy hitters in the art world right
But
now?
wait,
Hmm.
Ai Weiwei has
Mhm.
led to huge surge in London galleries focusing on installation work.
Well, yes. Yeah, but if you yeah, but I don't I mean, you could say that about 15 years ago too, by
Hmm.
the way.
I love that I said
I love it too.
AI.
I love that's what your brain is. That's amazing.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Because if you would have been in like back in art school, it's Ai Weiwei. Like that's where you
A
would have
thousand
gone like a
percent.
thousand
But we've
times.
talked about AI so
Yeah,
much.
I love that
And it
too.
even it made sense with the conversation. Because
Yeah.
they were saying like, what are the game changers? I feel like so my brain completed AI. I feel like AI.
Right.
So wow.
Wow. I don't know. I mean, if you're talking game changers, as in people that are capable of like completely turning this art world upside down,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think nothing that is traditional, but like that for sure. Like it has to be something completely different. And I'm guessing that the um like I mean we were in a museum like the collection that we were in Spain in Madrid,
Mm-hmm.
the
Espacio solo.
Espacio Solo,
Yeah.
you could sense that they're trying to push like they're exclusively looking at people that seem to be doing something different right now.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the work, I mean, it seemed technology. I would say it's heavily heavy technology. Like there's a heavy hand of technology
Yeah.
within, I would say, 80% of the works that we saw.
Yeah.
So it probably has to do like technology has to play a part not only in the way it's presented, but in the way it's socialized, I would
Mm-hmm.
say. So it would have to be like a virtual space of some kind, virtual interactivity. You don't have to be in that space to be part of the artwork.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it could be a morphing. It could be. It doesn't have to be a static artwork. I feel that it does. like the nature of the whatever I'm describing seems to be in fluxus. It seems to be
Yeah.
in constant change, or in the ability to be morphed into something else. Um, Now, having said that, I don't know. I don't know what is going to be the Ai Weiwei of right now. Because again, to be super honest with you, I feel what you are describing is like 20 years ago. So I think nowadays it's a little bit different. It's
I
a
think
little
that
bit.
I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No. Go ahead.
No, I was trying to think that Ai Weiwei, the thing is that he is the type of artist
Weigh
that
in on Ai Weiwei, Danny, please.
what?
Just a play on, dumb play on
No,
words.
I didn't listen to what
Weigh in on Ai Weiwei, please.
Okay.
Thanks. Thank you for making me repeat that. That was terrible.
Yeah, and I heard you the first time.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Dan, that was so unfair.
I think he's one example of those artists that are still relevant,
Yeah.
even if the things that are happening with the art scene
Yeah.
are very different to what they do.
And he transcends the art
Yeah.
scene. He's also like a political figure,
Yeah,
like a
1000%.
martyr, so he's, he's different, I would
Yeah.
say.
But I think that those are like the very few examples of people who are very up high in the art scene and they're still relevant for years and years and years.
Yeah.
So Molly Miles was saying artificial intelligence Weiwei is going to turn the scene on its head.
I would love that.
Nicolas, maybe I created like
you created a
next
monster.
hot
Yeah.
topic.
You
for
created
art.
a monster. I'm actually wondering why, he hasn't been up for that.
I'm gonna say something. Imagine creating.
AI Weiwei. It's amazing.
So it's not the installation with the flower, ¿cómo se llaman? Sunflower seeds.
Yeah.
But with a lot of iPads with the sunflower seeds.
Okay,
Or a projection of
a
it.
little heavy-handed, Danny, but sure.
Maybe that's, and if it's what they're gonna do next, I need a
Yeah.
commission
Okay.
because
Yeah,
I'm
again,
copywriting that.
Yeah. I think the poetic quality is a little heavy-handed still, Danny, but
Yeah.
it's a start. But you killed it with AI Weiwei.
AI Weiwei.
AI
Yeah.
Weiwei, I could totally.
copywriting
I
that
am
too.
so on board.
AI Weiwei.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Juan David Ruiz Borbón.
I feel bad that we couldn't give a name, though.
A name?
Yeah, we couldn't provide somebody with this person. Follow this person. They're gonna change the world. I don't know.
But
Because I felt the
I think it makes
responsibility of
sense.
saying, yeah, I don't think you're supposed to know. I think that's something that
because if we knew, we would be
give me let's
the
buy 10 of
gallery
those.
that Juan David Ruiz Borbón dice buenas, ¿cómo están?
Su
Daniela
majestad.
y Nicolás.
A su merced, su majestad.
¿Piensan que hay una diferencia muy grande entre aprender arte en Estados Unidos y Colombia? Hice algunos semestres en la Nacional y luego me mudé a Estados Unidos y la verdad sí veo bastantes diferencias. No sé qué piensan. Pues yo creo que ahí sí, Nicolás fue docente en Colombia, estudió artes en inglés, iba a decir, en Estados Unidos, en inglés también.
Lo máximo.
Y yo estudié acá, entonces yo creo que tus comentarios acerca de eso pues pueden ser como mucho más informados desde tu propia experiencia.
La presión.
No,
Gracias,
porque es que
linda.
yo podría dar un comentario, pero yo estaría hablando de lo que veo, como lo poquito a lo que puedo acceder sin haber estudiado artes en el exterior. Entonces, todo
no,
tuyo.
Voy a hacer como comentario generalizado. Yo no creería, honestamente. Lo que sucede, digamos, con ir a países que son tan grandes para estudiar arte, es que, el universo de artistas con el que uno se encuentra proviene, o sea, es muy cosmopolita, o sea, uno si va a Estados Unidos a estudiar, no está estudiando como en la mitad de un granjero rodeado de maíz. O sea, uno está estudiando con gente de todo el planeta. Uno está estudiando con, literalmente con gente que proviene de culturas distintísimas, religiones distintas. O sea, uno se va casi que a atropellar con una mini versión del mundo. Entonces, eso es lo que lo hace de pronto más valioso, el hecho de que rápidamente uno se encuentra como con un micro mundo en el espacio donde uno está estudiando, que esa debería ser, o sea, en teoría esa es la noción de lo que es una universidad, como la universalidad de pensamiento, o sea, que uno se topa y uno dice, uy, tengo compañeros ahora en la universidad que todos creen cosas distintas a las que yo me crié, o sea, con las que, a las creencias con las que yo me crié. Digamos que esa es la idea de un espacio académico inclusivo, que uno se tope con esas personas que son totalmente distintas, pero que uno se sienta refugiado en que uno está en un espacio es académico donde no es que a uno o sea, lo van a maltratar por pensar algo distinto. O sea, va a existir la posibilidad de debatir y así sean ideas estúpidas, pues el espacio está generado está diseñado para que uno pueda crecer allá. Yo creo que por el solo hecho de que uno se va a un sitio que es tanto más grande que su país, donde uno se va a encontrar con personas que tienen eh, pensamientos divergentes como significativos, que va a haber una, como una pluralidad de filosofía tan grande, que eso es lo que lo hace maravilloso. O sea, que
Mm.
uno encuentra gente con la que uno no, o sea, nunca se esperaba topar porque uno no, como que no estaba esperando encontrar tantas diferencias con las personas. Yo creo que eso, en términos, o sea, se me haría como muy simplista decir que no, es que la calidad de profesores no es la misma, porque en realidad conocí profesores extraordinarios acá. O sea,
Mm.
tuve colegas que hacen que yo me sienta mal diciendo colegas porque yo nunca me sentí tan buen profesor como ellos. Entonces, eh, aquí obviamente hay gente increíblemente capaz, o sea, inteligente, brillante, capaz de debatir cosas abiertas o sea, con un pensamiento suficientemente abierto como para poder tener espacios súper dinámicos con estudiantes. O sea, hay gente fascinante acá de docente, en serio, increíble, que puede que ellos hayan estudiado afuera o se hayan quedado acá, e igual son como pensadores, pero brillantes. Entonces, yo diría que quizás la experiencia radica más, o lo valioso de la experiencia radica más en que uno se pueda topar con algo que es distinto a la experiencia que uno había tenido en su vida y no tanto en que, no, es que acá la pintura que se enseña es re pobre o los profes son una porquería o... No, no creo en eso, no creo tanto en eso. Yo conocí suficientes profes talentosos, buenísimos, generosos, como para decir que es que esa es la gran diferencia, como para decir que es que ahí es donde está nuestro problema, si es que hay un problema y no creo que exista, honestamente.
Mm, Otra cosa que yo, pues, o sea, yo que estudié acá, que algo que me encanta haber tenido la oportunidad de, y es que creo que es súper enriquecedor conocer sobre el arte del lugar del que soy yo. Entonces pienso mucho, sobre todo en las clases que vi de historia del arte, que pienso que de pronto si hubiera estudiado en otro lugar no habría podido acceder a ese conocimiento porque pues siento que lo que se enseña... No, pero no llega.
Ay, gracias, pero de pronto, Lindita,
No, no, no
gracias.
llega.
¿No?
No, no estoy abriendo la...
Ah, qué pena. Bueno, Dani se fue ahí a contestar el citófono. Qué pena. Pero creo que entendiendo, o sea, no quiero hablar por Dani, obviamente, porque no puedo y no tengo ningún interés en hablar por ella, pero un ejemplo de algo que ella estaba como esbozando es Ricardo Toledo. Él hizo un proyecto que acabo de ver en las redes de Ricardo, que le dieron un reconocimiento, que se llama el Museo del Andén, que era como incorporar iniciativas desde el arte, pero que tuvieran que ver como con el radio del espacio que uno estaba habitando, y las personas que trabajaban como en ese radio, como en esa cercanía, por lo menos, de donde uno estaba haciendo, o sea, estaba elaborando su quehacer artístico. Entonces, Ricardo lo que hacía era promover que las personas salieran y trabajaran de alguna manera, como que activaran algún tipo de proyecto con las personas que estaban trabajando en la calle, como en las calles cercanas a la universidad, como incorporándolos de alguna manera, hacer recorridos en donde se visualizaran esas personas de alguna manera. Súper bonito, súper, súper bonito. Entonces, ese tipo de proyectos son los tipos de proyectos que solo, o sea, que se van a entender desde una mentalidad local, que de pronto uno no los va a entender propios si uno va a una ciudad grande, súper cosmopolita, donde de pronto ir a la calle, pues o significar eso es súper como difícil de asir, porque es tan plural, es tan distinto, que se pierde un poquitico la identidad que puede entenderse como se entiende tan fácilmente cuando uno dice acá, no, pues salga a la calle, o sea, voltee su mirada hacia la calle y cuénteme qué puede pasar ahí, qué puede pasar en ese ejercicio. En cambio, en esa iniciativa de Ricardo, lo más bonito, lo más chévere es que eh, era un ejercicio súper fácil de reconocer. Los estudiantes terminaron haciendo con pues, la asesoría de ellos, terminaron haciendo como unos ejercicios súper bonitos. Y pues lo que decía, o sea, recientemente les dieron un reconocimiento que se me hace que es como lo más justo para un proyecto tan chévere, tan bonito. Pero sí, proyectos así que no hubieran podido ser si no fuera por un espacio, un entendimiento local de un espacio.
Sí, no,
Lindita, yo
y es,
me
no,
fui
estaba
con...
escuchando lo que
Sí,
estabas diciendo
no sé si
y
me fui lejos de lo que querías decir.
no,
Me
sí, me gusta
disculpas.
y también diría, también la oportunidad de poder recibir como una retroalimentación de mi trabajo con referentes de acá, con
Sí,
referentes que han sido pertinentes para Colombia o para Latinoamérica, sea artistas vivos o artistas de hace algún tiempo, pero tener la oportunidad de uno recibir esa retroalimentación y poder meter a esos artistas como dentro de ese como diccionario que tiene uno en su cabeza o como dentro de esa lista de referentes que tiene uno, que de pronto habría sido algo que no podría acceder tan fácilmente si hubiera estudiado por fuera. Pero sí, no, y escuché todo lo que dices y sí, 100%.
no, y además aprovechar bonito.
Para hablar de Ricardo,
Y
sí.
de Leiva, de Nicolás, que
Sí.
también fue parte de ese proyecto, y de Sandra, que creo que también fue parte de ese proyecto.
Ujú.
Entonces creo que eran ellos tres. eh, pero no, pues súper,
Sí,
súper lindo, súper merecido. eh, la verdad fue un proyecto así que además muchísimos estudiantes como que activaron felices, o sea, se les hizo como súper chévere
sí,
ser de verdad una parte de ese tipo como de iniciativas. Entonces, muy merecido, muy
sí.
bonito.
No, y en mi cabeza yo tengo una lista de una cantidad de profesores a los que le agradezco, como del otro lado de lo que yo estaba diciendo ahorita al final, como haberme eh, mencionado a ciertos artistas que terminaron teniendo como un peso muy grande o una resonancia muy grande con tanto lo que yo era o en ese momento como tanto lo que era de esa cuestión que yo estaba tratando de solucionar, como también para lo que yo soy como artista hoy en día. Juan David dice, la mayoría de referencia que veo, bueno, no, espera, antes creo que había dicho algo. Mm, Dice, eso es verdad, en Colombia también encontré grandes profesores. Y dice, uy, claro, linda esa observación. La mayor diferencia que veo es el modo en el que se aborda la idea del arte, tanto de hacerlo como aprenderlo. En Colombia me sentí más conectado a la realidad. Sí, la verdad, esa es la parte que más extraño de estudiar en Colombia. La historia de nuestro arte es primordial para mí. Sí, yo diría que, pues, de nuevo, yo digo, sin haber estudiado por fuera, que o sea, de las dos se pueden hablar de una cantidad de, como de ganancias y de cosas que de pronto uno añora que una tendría que tiene la otra, pero no sé, se me hace muy difícil como comparar, como tratando de decir, esta es mejor por esto, pero de nuevo, pues yo no, solo puedo hablar desde mi experiencia y pues yo estudié acá. Em, a ver. Mm, let's see. Mm, M. Joker was saying, oh man, what a lovely face is up there in the right corner. Oh, thank you. And they were saying, is it oil or acrylic?
Oh, I thought they were talking about your face.
Yeah, my face. That's why I said, oh, thank you. You know,
Oh.
I don't know how to react to comments like that, so thank you. And they were saying, is it oil or acrylic? It's oil.
Like the shining of your face?
No,
I have no idea when.
that's grease.
Yeah, I don't know when they stopped talking about your face and when they started talking about the portrait in the painting.
So it is oils.
Yeah, natural oils.
So this one is grease.
Au
That one
natural.
are oils. Yeah. Oil au natural. Guillaume Lheureux,
Ooh la
ooh la la, was saying, Nicolas, have you tried the Radiohead video game on Kid A
No.
/ Amnesia?
No, 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 no.
I really love the experience. Great mix of music, visual art, 3D space.
Oh, I'm going to try it. Yes. I remember they showed that. When did they show that?
Where is it playable? Like, is it for a computer?
Maybe Steam. No, I think that's probably like a Steam game.
Let's see. So are you going strong with your game? Elden Ring still, Nicolas?
No, I think we're done, Daniel Lira.
You know why I'm asking?
Yeah, we can start. I think we can start Cuphead.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we can start Cuphead.
No, and if you were...
By the way, I wasn't giving Danny permission. I just asked her to like wait for me.
No. I even told you, like, I think it's okay if you finish that, because you were a little bit confused with the controllers.
Very confused. Very, very confused.
I'm confused, but because we haven't played Cuphead in a long time.
I thought I was playing with hooves. Like, I could not understand the controls of that game. It's so crazy. Like the ones in the Elden Ring ones, like they're just in my brain now. They're like I could play that blindfold.
They're part of your body.
Yeah.
now.
Even when I would play, like if I would spend 2 weeks without playing or a little bit more than that, when I got back, like I knew exactly what I was doing. Like my memory, my hand memory was just it just took over.
We were playing a couple of days ago. Oh, go.
No.
Sorry.
I thought it was going to take over for the Cuphead. Oh no.
We were playing a couple of days ago with Samuel Fer. I forgot the name.
Fall Guys?
Fall Guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to say.
Yeah.
Just
say it. Say it. I think you're going to be judgy, but just say it.
No. I was going to say that I thought I was going to be worse than I was.
Oh my God.
No, really.
Yeah, find a way to compliment yourself, please.
No, I'm not trying to compliment myself.
No, sure.
No, I was going to say that I think that people were better in the game before.
Oh my God. Yeah, double down
that
on
sounds
that.
terrible. No.
Oh, Jesus
like,
Christ.
I think...
Stumbling over your humility here.
No, because I was terrible.
You
a
are
ton of
with
time
your comments? Sure.
Playing. But I think that before, it was so hard to get to the final.
Oh God, no sympathy for you, Danny.
No,
right now. You're
again,
not connecting to the
no.
the people.
Nicolas, and I know you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
You know it.
Yeah.
Okay.
When Fer comes, be careful going, you have to get down from that really high chair. So just be careful you don't fall.
Talking about that. Oh, they were calling,
Yeah,
but
what's
it
that?
was no, it was like someone ordered something.
Oh, let's say yes. I'm dying.
No,
I'm
they were like
hungry.
you have to no, no, no. And if people pay, no. But they were saying no, you have to give the code. And I was like, "Oh, is it for the bread we ordered?" No. Oh, so is it for another thing I ordered? No. So what is it? No, there's two salads and some things, and I was like,
Oh, we're not
no.
doing it for salad.
But no.
We would steal that food if it was something cooler, but no.
So I'm gonna have my phone in my hand. I'm sorry if that's very disrespectful, but I'm gonna be
No.
like super aware of Fer.
Yeah. Your
Disrespectful always.
well, yeah, your description of how humble you are,
No.
that was probably worse.
No,
So
I was
don't
gonna
worry.
say no, because I was surprised because when we were playing Cuphead,
Yeah.
I wasn't good. I was
Mm.
like, no, I forgot about
Mhm.
how to play. But then we played Fall Guys, and I know it's super different.
Yeah.
But I was way better than
Mhm.
I remembered. So
Mm.
again, that sounds terrible, but
Humble brag, don't worry.
I never brag about anything, so
Nah, not openly.
not ever. Marcelo Peralta was saying amazing painting, Nico. Really chévere or really
Mhm.
cherry.
Oh, cherry. I like the
Really
cherry.
cherry to see
Yeah.
you working with high chroma. I have to go now. I'll watch the rest later.
Thank
You'll
you.
have a great weekend. Bye, Danny,
Thank
Nico,
you.
and Chad.
We're
Bye,
probably
Marcelo.
gonna have to maybe as soon as Fer gets here.
Oh, but she's gonna be here like in 2 minutes.
Yeah, maybe because we have to she hasn't had lunch, so she gets here early on Fridays.
And we haven't had lunch
So yeah, but we
either.
can
So
I could go without eating, but I don't want to put Fer through that. So
it would be harder on me to go without eating if I have to be
it's all
honest.
about you, Danny.
Uh,
No. So we're gonna stop. Maybe as soon as she gets here, we'll do our
Cody is so cool because M Joker was saying, "Ah, what a sexy voice,"
thank
and
you.
Cody was saying, "M Joker, Nicolas takes voice lessons."
Yeah.
He was doing some voice exercise before we started,
Oh yeah.
so maybe you could give them a little bit of it.
Okay.
What were you doing before?
Okay. Again, what am I here for? Your pleasure and no. Come on. But thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah,
I
he
have
has
tried.
the sexiest
Yeah,
voice
I
ever.
used to yell a lot initially, but I've been controlling my
That's
voice.
your
I think so.
that's
There's
what got your voice to the point of being super sexy, yelling a lot.
I think I was screaming the sexiness out of my voice. So, there was a lot of dramatic change. But so glad that he noticed. So,
Your
or
sexy
they
voice?
noticed. Yeah.
How can't they?
How could they not, right?
Yeah.
It's like a slap in the face of sexiness.
Yeah. But it's
Yeah.
like a soft
Oh, sultry?
cuddle of a slap.
A cuddle of a slap. Okay, that's
Yeah.
your description.
Let's see. Alejandro Morales was saying, I watched a show, I can't remember the name of the artist, about DNA, RNA, and molecule manipulation as a new discipline in the art world.
Okay.
I have to say, I have no idea about that.
No, me neither.
Alejandro. Oh,
That's Samu?
yeah.
No, I've never heard of that. Like, all I know about RNA is the
Ya vengo.
COVID vaccines. That's as far as I can go with that knowledge. But I didn't know that was becoming that could become part of an art initiative. I don't know. I've never heard of that. But wouldn't surprise me if I have to be completely honest. I mean, it's art, so I don't know. Anything goes, right? So I'm not going to be able to finish this painting today. I think that's kind of plainly obvious. but I'm also leaving a lot of the umber open, and I think I am liking the openness of the painting. I don't know if it works everywhere. Like, there's pattern here also, so I would love to bring some of the pattern that's over here, bring it over here. But I like how Fed is fading into this kind of umber. There's a nice kind of open umber feel to that shadow area, to that shadow mass that connects the shadow mass of her portrait with the shadow mass of the hair. So I kind of like that. I'm digging that. I want to see if I could make that work a little bit better. But I'm realizing that if I want to leave that open, it means that I can't overwork other areas. I just have to place like really simple notes of color that just, work. Um, for example, I have to be very very mindful of shifts in or accents in value, so I don't have like a very dark mass that is playing off of perhaps the ground, but the ground isn't quite the value or the hue that I need to play it off of. So I need to choose like those places very 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 slowly. Like it's uh it's one of those things that if I start putting color down in a place that I shouldn't, it almost like ruins it. It's almost like, oh, might as well just cover everything up then. But if I start thinking that I have to cover everything up, then it means that I just ruin the chance of it being open. So I think that's where I'm like caught. Not quite in the middle, but just realizing, okay, that's the painting that I want to paint. So how do we make this work? How do we make this decision just make sense for the rest of the painting? For the rest of these little areas of the painting. So I do think, for example, this transitioning I really like, but when it opens up too much, I don't like it that much. So I know I need to like slowly incorporate some color here. And I know this is going to be kind of important too. So there are going to be places that need to be transitional. There are going to be places that need to be further developed, but just further developed doesn't mean like spell everything out and just put a ton of detail. No, no, no. I just need to be intelligent about the choices that I'm going to make, and then I think I can have like a very fresh looking painting. I don't know why that is so important for me when I'm doing, especially like um these they're not quite reclining poses, but these poses that speak about rest. That like I think I would describe them better like that. Um I think there needs to be like a levity to them that is quite beautiful, because if I overwork it, if I overwork like something that is speaking about comfort or just being kind of nestled somewhere, or um I don't know, it just takes away, the static quality of overworking something would take, you know away the nature of just this I don't know, this very um I just think that she's almost like bleeding into the sheets and into the bed, which makes it feel like she belongs to this little space. She has chosen this little space to like make her home, or to understand this home. And I feel that if there is a point where if you overdo it, then that kind of burrowed feeling just goes away, where you're like you're sacrificing that that feeling of one thing kind of becoming the like her body becoming the space. um if you start if you start to feel the obligation to describe how different things are, then the feeling of just blending into a space obviously disappears quite quickly. So I have to be very mindful of that when I put like some finishing touches into this. But we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. But I think that that's gonna have to be either Monday or I'm gonna do it on my own. Maybe this afternoon or tomorrow. So because I think we're gonna end today's session on that note, Daniel.
So, would you like to say goodbye?
Sure.
Or do you want me to say goodbye?
Oh, like formal. Okay, to do the
The closing.
my closing argument, closing
Yeah,
statement.
please go.
Sure. So if this is the first time you are, you are visiting our channel, or you happen to have seen our live stream, because I don't know, it'd be a miracle if YouTube recommended it, but it'd be cool. But if this is your first time, this is what we do. We just keep each other company while we work. And we usually try to do paintings. I don't know. I mean, our bread and butter is doing paintings like every session, but we've been stretching it a little bit so that we can flesh out a painting a little bit more. So, maybe a painting spans like 2 or 3 at most live sessions. But the idea is to have conversations, going as we paint. They can be conversations about art or life, or how art intersects with life, food. And so if this is your first time here, please consider, and if you've liked this little bit of experience, consider subscribing.
Yes.
And consider ringing that bell so that when we go live, which is mostly what we do now, we don't do edited videos anymore, but we go live. If you like a more compressed, edited version of what we're doing, we have a lot of videos for you. There's probably around almost like 400 videos for you to watch in our channel that are like compressed, edited experiences. They're paintings that take less than or around 20 minutes. So if that's the time like that you're looking for,
Well,
we have
they're
tons of
edited
those.
for that.
Oh yeah. So we have tons of those, and you can enjoy those. Those are free for everyone to see.
Yes.
They are usually themed weeks, so
Yes.
it's kind of interesting to see how a theme could be executed in varying manners during that week. So we invite you to check not only one video out, but if you liked what we were doing in a week, to check the week out. And know that this is like a sponsor-free open channel, because the things that we do, so the objects of art that we produce, are the things that we try to commercialize, are the things that we try to sell. And because and thanks to the generous people that support us by purchasing something that we produce, we're able to do these videos and make them accessible for everyone. So as always, Danny said it yesterday, we're always very appreciative to the people that find that they can help us that way, but also help the whole community in the bigger sense, because they are they're the little motor that keeps this
the
going.
videos coming. Yeah.
So we're always super appreciative to the people that have supported us by purchasing our paintings in the past, and that still continue to do so right now.
Yeah.
So this particular painting won't be put into our storefront until it's more resolved. I feel I need to work on it for a bit longer. But as soon as it is, you can check that storefront out in the webpage that is the same as our channel. So our channel is Our Painted Lives, and you could go to ourpaintedlives.com to check out what we have in our storefront. There's a painting that we did yesterday that's still up there. So if you want to check that out, and that's it. So I'm probably gonna finish this this afternoon or tomorrow. As soon as it goes, as soon as I finish it, I tend to post it on our social media. You could check that out it's on the screen right now. And when I post it, I usually post it right after I post it on Instagram.
Which, by the way,
Yes.
it's right there,
Yeah.
Nicolas' Instagram.
Yeah.
So you can check it out.
And as soon as we post it, then we post it to our webpage. So that's if you're interested in a particular piece, that's a good way of knowing like when things go up. And that's about it. Thank you
Yes.
guys for hanging out. We'll
Yeah.
see you on Monday for sure.
Yeah, and there's also my Instagram.
Yes.
If you want to check it out. I don't upload that much, but working on it again. So thank you everyone for joining us.
Thank you.
It has been a great week having you back. I was missing you guys a lot. And that's it. We'll see you next week.